Well, that's where we leave our Make a Difference programming here on BBC Radio Kent for the moment on DAB. Normal programmes continuing as per schedule on FM and on Listen Live online. But here on BBC Radio Kent DAB and on its own online stream via the BBC Sport website and app, we have cricket for you this afternoon. T20 Blast, a border rivalry between Sussex and Kent here at Hove with myself, Matt Cole, and beside me, Adrian Harms. First order of the day with it's not always to talk about cake with cricket, it's to talk about the weather, and it's overcast here, but we're told there shouldn't be any rain this afternoon, so we are set to get underway. Sussex have won the toss and will bowl first under muggy overcast conditions. I don't think that's necessarily a surprise, but I'll defer to the wisdom of Adrian Harms very shortly on pitch conditions, likely pitch conditions here. For the two sides, one change each. For Kent, who are somewhat injury hit for this game, there is a Grant Stewart who's coming back from a calf injury, the all-rounder for Dean Forrester, who's been such a success, the South African for Kent, since signing for the T20 Blast. But he's away with South Africa A, so are two Kent players. More of that perhaps anon before this intro becomes an epic poem, and so they're the one change from the team that I think it's fair to say thrashed Surrey at the Oval last time out, which made a lot of people very pleased, including of course Kent Spitfires fans. Good afternoon to you, Adrian.
Hello, Matt.
Let's talk about the Sussex side then. Shall we talk about the toss first? Any surprise to you that Tamal Mills decided to bowl first here?
It seems to sort of change throughout the season, really, and frankly in the last four matches it hasn't really mattered whether Sussex have batted first or bowled first, because they've lost their last four on the spin. So they won at Chelmsford, but then got heavily beaten by Kent down at Canterbury on that very hot bank holiday Monday. Since then they lost to Middlesex really disappointingly, well beaten here on Friday night by Leicestershire. So perhaps Tamal just fancies chasing today, but Sussex have really been up against it. Like Kent, they've got a lot of injuries in their side. Quite surprisingly, Henry Crocombe has come back from England Lions duty. He played in the first game, which was on Friday. He's back for this game today. I understand he's going back to Worcester, where there is another game, I believe, on Tuesday. So Henry Crocombe back does bolster the resources, but Sussex have gone with very much a bowler-heavy attack today. So Crocombe coming in for Tom Price. Other than that, Sussex unchanged from a very disappointing performance against Leicestershire on Friday night.
Yeah, so England Lions without Henry Crocombe today. I can tell you that both Ben Dawkins and Dekansh Singh are playing for England Lions, and I believe Dean Forrest is playing for South Africa A. So at least when they play, you can see some sense in them being away with these teams, can't you? But sometimes a bit frustrating for sides that don't have the resources of some of the others. In the Sussex and Kent's case, to have been denuded of those players. But good to see Henry Crocombe back for Sussex then.
It is. One player who is away for Sussex is James Coles. He's playing in that game. He probably wish he wasn't, because he was out for a duck today, was James. But Sussex missing a number of players. Tom Clark is out injured. We understand he's going to be out for a good period of time. Injured a knee here against Middlesex a couple of weeks ago. Scott Curry, he's out for the whole competition with an Achilles injury. So they're two players who would have been in the side.
And a massive miss, Tom Clark, as I understand it, for Sussex. I mean, from what we saw at Canterbury particularly.
Absolutely, and he's been in really good form throughout the competitions. That's a massive blow for Sussex, and they'll miss him in the Championship as well for the next few rounds as well. And of course, Ollie Robinson, who would normally have been in the T20 side, but excelling in the Test match this week. So no Ollie Robinson. So Sussex, they are up against it. We all know the financial problems here. They can't bring in any additional players. They've just got the one overseas, who is Daniel Hughes, and a change of tack today. Very much. I mean, it's a long tail for Sussex today. Danny Briggs coming at 8. Henry Crocombe 9, Tamal Mills and Sean Hunt. So clearly Sussex think they want to go with lots of bowling options and very much reliant on the top 7 on getting the necessary runs.
So they'll be hoping to strike early, certainly. Into the Kent injury ranks then. Tuanda Mieye is still under concussion protocols after being injured in the game against Essex, so won't play in this one. We're unsure whether he'll be fit to play in the Battle of the Bridge on Tuesday night against Essex, of course, if you weren't aware of that particular trophy between the two. But it may have been slightly invented by the media staff of the two clubs, but we're all for it. Not sure what you call this one. not the old enemy, I don't know. Kent against Sussex, border rivalry. No doubt about that. It's not very far. So no Tuanabia, he's out. We wish him well, obviously, recovering from that. Tom Rogers, Australian overseas, is out with a hamstring injury. As I expressed before, 3 players who would be playing, or could be playing for Kent today. Sorry, Dean Forrester, I'm sure, will be playing for Kent. He's in the South African A team playing England Lions. Dawkins and Ekanch have both played in that one. So for Kent fans, well, I'm interested. Sussex fans thinking about young players coming through. Dawkins got 13, opening the innings with Ace of Tribe, and Ekanch Singh coming a bit further down, the all-rounder, 27. They are 196 for 9, the Lions against South Africa A. No bowling for Dean Forrester, who, as I love to say, and I'm sorry if Kent fans have heard this before, I think it's worth repeating. In the write-up, the pen picture we got of Dean Forrester when he arrived at Kent was explosive left-handed middle-order batsman who will swing for the fences and bowls right-arm fast if required. There we go. So, as I'd like to say, certainly said before, for any club side, right arm fast, that immediately gets you opening the bowling, probably in the batting as well if you can swing for the fences with left arm, but not required by the South African A today with the ball. Anyway, back on to players that are here, and a guard of honour is at the far end. Flags are waving already at the Cromwell Road end, so that's the far end, and quite often looking from a commentary box you assume that there is a slope from up to down, if you like, but there is a slope here, isn't there, towards the sea end.
There is a slope. It's about 12 feet that runs from
from
one end of the ground to the other, as Matt says, from the Cromwell Road end, where there's some very nice houses that overlook the ground, and some rather less nice block of flats which are covered in scaffolding.
Well, I feel they've earned their place now, haven't they? We've seen them so many times over the years, and people who do, they've been there such a long time. But yes, they're being prettied up.
They are.
They're facelift.
Yes, I don't quite know what's going on. It's been like that all seasons. I don't know whether they're painting them or is they giving them a facelift. But if you're living in those flats, you're looking out through scaffolding.
Or it could just be, as many of us who have experienced this with scaffolding, lucky enough to have residences like that, I suppose, that scaffolders are just leaving it there until they need it somewhere else. And
possibly.
There we go. That's the way it works.
But it is quite a long drive. I have to say the actual playing area looks magnificent.
It does, yeah.
There's no excuses for a misfield here at Hove, because it's absolute. When you walk across the outfield, it's as pristine as pretty much anywhere in the country, really. So no excuses. The crowd, Matt, I'm told that 3,500 tickets have been sold for today, and with actually the weather improving throughout the day, there's got a little bit of patches of blue sky. There may be a few walk-ups as well, with people perhaps thinking, actually, and we're not going to get rain. And it's a problem with T20, isn't it? And there was a game here on Friday night, and people's budgets only stretch so far. Really.
Yeah, for a weekend they might choose Friday night rather than and decide to do something on a full day on a Sunday. Yeah. As you say, it's a tricky one in that respect. Fewer games, of course, this season for all these sides, 12 rather than 14 group stages, and. Sussex have already played their first, what do they call them? They don't call them cross-border, what do they call them?
Yeah,
cross something.
Well,
cross Sussex fans, I suppose.
and it was cross here on Friday,
Christ.
because they played a double-header against Leicestershire. The women lost off the last ball of the match, and Sussex were convincingly beaten, really. I mean, it was... it's the first time they've ever played Leicestershire in T20, but they lost by 4 wickets.
Right.
And it was a convincing win with over 3 overs left to be bowled. So,
and contrasting fortunes for these two sides, it's fair to say. So Sussex with just 1 win out of 5 so far, Kent with 1 defeat out of 4, but Kent really have shown the way T20 works, I think, and how capricious it can be as a format in being absolutely played off the park at Canterbury by Essex, only to go to the Oval and do exactly the same thing to Surrey. So nothing is a given when you're stepping out on T20.
No, totally. And I mean, the Sharks are bottom of the group now. Some people are confused because they're only showing us having 2 points. That's because they started the competition on -2 because of the financial issues around the club. So they have won 1 game. They've lost 4 on the spin. The first game they played terrifically. They absolutely thumped Essex at Chelmsford. But since then, things haven't gone. Where it's really gone wrong, Matt, is in the batting. They've got some great starts, as they did down at Canterbury.
Yeah.
But they just haven't built on those starts. They've left themselves too much to do. And that'll be something they'll be very much concentrating on today. And to be fair to both Paul Farbrace and Tamel Mills, they haven't used, and they wouldn't use, an excuse of players being injured and players being called up by England as a reason for the poor performance. They've said it's just been poor performance. People are trying their best, but it just hasn't come together. And actually, the performance at Southampton on Tuesday was really poor. Right. And they'll be they were better on Friday, and hoping they can go one better still and get another. Because if they don't win today, Sussex, you'd almost feel they're out of this. I mean, you'd have to win, I think, your next 6, and those next 6 games they've got to play Surrey twice, they've got to go to Warwickshire, they've got Essex coming here, Hampshire have got to come here, who are running away with the group at the moment. So,
and I think 8 just about guarantees you a place in the top 2. Obviously, strange things happen, don't they, with weather, etc., etc. But you're absolutely right. At that point, you're looking at an incredible winning spell to get yourself on. I mean, you could be one of the 2 best placed third place teams. Crikey, with the World Cup coming up, which is fearsomely complicated. We'll be into all that. A little bit more simple, I'd have to say, to calculate in the T20 playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was looking at some of the other groups. I mean, the Central and West group, for example, Worcestershire Rapids are in 3rd place with 12 points.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to have to get 8 wins is going to probably guarantee you, but after that it very much depends on the other groups, and some of the other groups sides are playing very well at the moment.
And obviously having those 2 points taken off
doesn't help.
It's half, well, I mean, almost need to say it's half a win, isn't it? Which actually is almost tantamount to having 4 points taken, having a win taken at this point, isn't it? Because you're going to have to do one better than the sides above you, if that makes any sense to those at home. I hope it does. And as I say, good luck with the World Cup football, trying to work out who's qualifying third place from those. Let's hope England, it doesn't fall to them to be one of those teams, but all feels a bit random. Back with eyes on the cricket. Sun is coming out here, and it does have that feel, I think I was saying to you earlier, Adrian, although it's breezy, it was cool when I arrived, you get that feeling of the sun just behind the clouds here, that it could warm up quite quickly if it comes out.
I agree, and you're quite right, it does feel sort of a little muggy as well, so we'll see how things progress. But the umpires marching out in their red tops, Matt.
They are indeed. So, is that red? Fuchsia? Pink, maybe? Pink, yeah.
Pinky red. I'm dreadful on colours. I've been asked 3 times now. I've been meaning to find out the exact colours of the Sussex shirts.
I'm going to go with fuchsia. I have no idea what that is. But
I think that's good.
So, unfortunately for all those concerned, certainly when it comes to the sartorial elegance of the strips, Ben Watts is in the studio today, manfully pressing all the buttons, which is a good thing for all of us concerned, I have to say, when I'm on duty. But there we go. Yes, they are shocking pink, bright pink.
Yes. I quite like fuchsia pink. I think that's a good description, Matt.
It's a thing of the fuchsia. And outcome. I'm terribly sorry. Outcome Kent's opening pair. So Harry Finch, formerly of this parish.
Yes.
First game for the first team, and because of the injury to Wanamiye, boy, did he take his opportunity against Surrey, scoring 64 not out on his seasonal debut for Kent. Daniel Bell-Drummond is up the other end. Also one note for Kent in their lineup, Grant Stewart. This is his first T20 of the summer. He played the first championship match on his way back from the World Cup with Italy, but was injured in that game. So getting back into the swing of it, Grant Stewart. Kent hope. Sussex will be hoping he has a very quiet afternoon, as the crowd goes a little bit quiet now.
It does. I don't know if we get the countdown of the clock. No, we're just going to go straight into it. So it is going to be Sean Hunt, left arm seamer, in his second T20 match. Comes in over the wicket, bowls to Harry Finch, who pushes forward to mid-off. Fielded there by the Australian Daniel Hughes, and there is no run. So Sean Hunt, whose first game of the season actually came on Friday night. It was also his first T20 game. Been out injured. He's had a lot of injury problems, Sean, so it's just good to see him back on the field. Struggled with bowling wides on Friday night. So good to see that first delivery pitched up to Harry Finch, and Harry Finch just content to play it away into the covers. As Hunt is in again. Bowls and tucked away by Finch, and he's going to pick up a boundary. Tucked away down towards fine leg. So sure that shouldn't have been stopped really at short fine leg. It's Daddy Lamb in there, who dived away to his left hand side. The ball eluded him, and it's run away for 4 runs. So Harry Finch will be very pleased on his old ground to get underway. I know he's a big Tottenham Hotspur fan, is Harry Finch.
Is he?
Yes, I remember when he was here. I think he might have been a season ticket holder. But he's not thinking about that today.
tends not to stick in my mind who footballers support. I'm pretty sure Danny Bell Drummond is Arsenal, though, so I'm hoping they're going to be all right out there.
In comes Hunt again, bowls, and Finch plays this one off the hip down to deep square leg, fielded out there on the boundary by Harrison Ward, who's been in good form. Harrison Ward has come in for the last 2 matches, made 69 here on Friday night, which is his best score in T20 cricket, and then 40 down at the Utilita Bowl on Tuesday. So he's been good form. The problem for Sussex has been they've got good starts and they just haven't capitalised.
I know Kent felt that very much at Canterbury in the reverse fixture.
Hunt in again, bowls, beats Bell Drummond, good delivery, and there's a bit of movement there from Sean Hunt just off the pitch through the John Simpson behind the stumps, and there is no run. I remember that was a baking hot, and Sussex were 98 without loss after 7 overs at Canterbury,
and they didn't make 200.
They didn't. They had 197,
and the Kent camp very much thinking 220, 230 probably puts them out of the game. I know talking to a couple of the players afterwards, and I think they bowled very well. I'm not going to decry that at all, but
Hunted again, bowls. Well, Drummond drives firmly to backward point field in the safe hands by Danny Briggs, and there is no run. And likewise, Matt, here on Friday night, Sussex after 8 overs were 91 without loss. 8 overs and ended up making 179. It's been, and then at Southampton the other night they were 67 off 5.5 overs and struggled to 150 odd. So in comes Hunt over the wicket, bowl. That's another good delivery. Is he nicked that behind Delaware? No, he hasn't. There's a little bit of movement there from Sean Hunt actually off the pitch. So just the 5 runs coming off the opening over, and a good over from Sean Hunt. He'll be very pleased with that. 4 overs, 2 for 37 on Friday evening, but he's 5 overs in the opening over. The power play is a very respectable 5 without loss are the Kent Spitfires. Sussex winning the toss and electing to bowl first, and it's going to be the familiar figure of Tamel Mills, who is going to open the bowling from the Cromwell Road end. He did say after the game on Friday, Tamel, that Sussex bowled too many wides, and he said he's very gracious. He said, I include myself in that.
Not much bounce or carry for Sean Hunt in the first over, I notice. I've not seen enough of him to bowl to know whether we expect it to zip, but certainly Tamar Mills, if there is bounce or carry, will get that. And wicketkeeper John Simpson is a fair way back. The 2 outfielders, deep square leg for Harry Finch and a deep third as Mills bowls to him. He is up on his toes, Harry Finch, and it bounces off one of those cut strips there past the fielder at cover, and that will be a single.
I think that's Danny Briggs.
That's
a bit of a collector's item, a misfield from Danny Briggs. I was
going to say that's an awkward one though. You could see the cut strip there is well worn on both ends, and it looked like it took an awkward bounce as Briggs tried to pick it up. Ben in the studio tells me what's the phrase for this one? War of the Wheels. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, quite like that. Well done, Ben.
I'm not sure Ben invented it, but I take credit for it if you can, Ben. Here's Mills then to Bell Drummond, pulls that away with force. Will it go to the boundary? It won't. It's fielded on the boundary by Ollie Carter. Sides that one inside arm, and that'll be just the one then for Daniel Bell Drummond. The outfield looks pretty quick, but I'm not sure he went absolutely fully at that, Daniel Bell Drummond. He'll just get the single. 7 for none then in the second over here on BBC Radio Kent, BBC Radio Sussex, our hosts, and on Kent on DAB, online via the BBC Sport website and app, of course, as normal. All the Championship and T20 games via the BBC local radio network with me, Matt Cole, and Adrian Harms. Mills then, left arm over the wicket to Finch, just tucks that one round the corner. He got a boundary in the first over, a very similar shot. They think about a second. They toy with it, but don't go through with it in the end. It was a little bit of an excuse me between Carter and Hunt fielding that one, but not enough to get them on their toes. The Spitfires batters 8 for none then in this first over. The flags, fluttering. You could see is it the martlets?
Yes, it is.
On the Sussex flag.
Kent flag isn't there. Perhaps certainly for championship matches they fly both flags.
I don't know what that says about Kent's chances here. Perhaps is Mills then slipping, or a wide-ish gully. They're driven by Daniel Bell Drummond, hits the stumps at the far end. The stumps have fielded that. That had a good chance, I think, of getting to the boundary, and it's skewed off into the offside, and they'll just get a single. Daniel Bell Drummond not exactly glaring, but will regret certainly that that didn't go any further. See, they've got Jack leaning at a wide-ish slip. It's sort of third slip, fourth slip he is there, isn't he? Just looking for that,
Yes.
I suppose, a drive which gets a thick edge.
And he's had a disappointing competition so far, Jack Leaning, in need of some runs, and Sussex with this long tail today will be looking for the likes of Jack Leaning.
But not a bad over so far from Mills, just 4 off it as he bowls to Vinci. Tries to get on the front foot, actually just pushes it straight back at the bowler. No aggressive intent there. Looks to me like Kent having a very good look at this pitch, and as I said, the ball doesn't seem to be coming onto the bat that quickly here. We just need to try and get their timing right. Perhaps Sussex thought that as well. If it was going to be a slowish pitch, perhaps a little bit of a sticker, they might like to have a look at what the batting side does first. Sometimes, as you said, Adrian, it might be just to change momentum, just to change the thought process for the two teams. But 40 overs on most pitches is not an awful lot. Obviously, you don't know that much more about it with 20 overs played. Hop, skip and a jump for Mills as he runs in now, and long handle from Finch just clears the fielder at mid-wicket. I think that'll go for 4. It will do, just gets there. And is that Henry Crocombe?
It is Henry.
Yeah.
I think he thought he perhaps should have caught that, you know. It was to his left-hand side. It whistled past him, and I wonder if he got his hand on that, because he's just ruefully sort of shaking his left hand. But he'd made up his mind, Harry Finch, he was going to play that shot, I think, almost before Terrell Mills had bowled.
Yeah, you're right, he backed away a little bit, away at the leg, and has ended up thrashing that one through mid-wicket, and that is 4 runs into the over then. 13 for none of the Spitfires from 2 here in the T20 blast against the Sussex Sharks on their home ground.
Daniel Hughes, the Australian, who's putting up mid-off, just having a chat to the skipper, Terrell Mills, maybe about suggesting a field placing. There are 2 fielders outside of the 30-yard circle. That's all you're allowed at this stage, as Hunt is in. Over the wicket, bowls, and he bowls him, and Sean Hunt gets the wicket. Daniel Bell-Drummond had a rather rueful look at the pitch there, maybe suggesting it kept a little low, but either way, Sean Hunt has come in and picked up the wicket. The first wicket is down, and Daniel Bell-Drummond is on his way for 2, and the Spitfires are 13 for 1.
Yeah, it looked like it did keep low. It's seamed him as well, but ball deep in the crease from Hunt there, and well, yes, they are waving goodbye to Daniel Bell-Drummond as the song goes, and Sean Hunt with a little leap of glee at the end of there. Well, he might do. Destructive batter Daniel Bell-Drummond could be. Bit of movement, perhaps a bit of low bounce. Wasn't a grubber, but for Daniel Bell-Drummond, yeah, that's castled him. Few finer sights for a quick bowler than the middle stump and flying out of the ground.
Yeah, and he's had a wretched time with injury, Sean Hunt, really, throughout his career here at Sussex. Last season he took 9 wickets in the opening championship match against Somerset, but then got injured and was out until August time, came back and played some of the Metro Bank and then got injured again at the end of the season. That injury reoccurred, pre-season, and so he has had a very, very difficult time. So whilst it's from a Kent point of view, supporters will be sorry to see the end of Bell-Drummond. Sean Hunt, I'm sure he'll be very pleased, and Sussex fans will be very pleased for him as well. Zach Crawley is the new man. Hunt comes in over the wicket, bowls to Crawley, who plays this straight to mid-wicket, fielded by the lively Henry Crocombe, who comes in and fields. And there is no run. Yeah, from a Kent point of view, Dan Bell-Drummond just hasn't got a big one this summer as yet in the blast. So 26, 29, 13 and 7 so far for him by his own high standards. That's relatively low, but that's been in obviously 3 winning causes so far for Kent as well. Zach Crawley, well, Sussex fans won't need reminding what he did in the previous game. Hunt in, bowls to Crawley, hits him on the pad. There's a stifled appeal really from Simpson, a rather louder appeal from Tom Alsop at first slip, but that was clearly going down the leg side, and Crawley comes down and does a little bit of gardening.
Yes. I'm just going to say it's doing something off the pitch, most definitely, isn't it? I think it actually suits Sean Hunt's pace as well. Players not able to get the timing right so far here. Good start from Sussex Sharks.
Yeah, wicket maiden so far as in comes Hunt and bowls, and Crawley dabs that one to backward point. They think about a single, but it isn't there. Tom Alsop's throw hits the stumps. It ricochets away, but backed up by Danny Lamb, so Good fielding by Tom Alsop, and again another dot ball.
As if to prove there definitely wasn't a single there. It's the stumps.
Yes.
I don't think Harry Finch would have been in the other half of the pitch by the time that hit the stumps. So absolutely right to turn Zach Crawley down for that single.
The two umpires today are Mark Newell and Nigel Long. I think that's Nigel Long who's repairing the stumps at the far end of the ground.
Good to see Nigel on the pitch again.
And comes Hunt. 13 for 1 of the Spitfires in and bowls to Crawley. He plays uppishly and he's caught by Tom Alsop at backward point. 2 wickets in the over. Zach Crawley, as is his right to do, just querying with umpire Nigel Long that the ball did actually carry to Tom Alsop, who dived forward and caught the ball in both hands. Crawley just hesitated, asked the umpire, and he's quite within his rights to do that, but a good diving catch by Tom Alsop, flinging himself forward. And a terrific over by Sean Hunt, who's now picked up a couple of wickets. So far, it's a double wicket maiden for Sean Hunt, and Kent are 13 for 2.
Absolutely brilliant for him as well. And again, minds cast back to the Tom Clark catch that wasn't given at Canterbury. I'm sure a few Sussex Sharks fans maybe ruefully or maybe quizzically raising an eyebrow, but as you say, Zach Crawley making absolutely sure. It looked from here pretty much safe, didn't
it?
And Alsop's got his hands underneath at the replay, certainly suggesting that as well. So Sam Billings comes out at 13 for 2 with Kent in all sorts of trouble, and perhaps Sean Hunt on his second T20 blast match is heading towards a 2-wicket maiden. Well, maybe he will emulate his England colleague. Well, who knows? Sam Billings is going to try and stop that.
It's been a bit of a thing this week for, after Ollie Robinson's performance in the Test match.
Suggestion, yeah.
So Billings, in his blue shoes or boots, whatever you call them these days, boots I like to refer them to, waits for Sean Hunt, who's running in over the wicket. Final ball of the third over. He's in and bowls, and Billings is beaten outside the off stump. That wasn't far away from being a wicket from Sean Hunt. A double wicket maiden from Sean Hunt, and I think you can see by the way the Sussex lads, I mean, they would come and congratulate him anyway, but I think they're just genuinely pleased to see the big fella Sean Hunt back in action and picking up wickets, and he'll feel a whole lot better that. So well done, Sean. I know his parents are often regular visitors and watching the matches, and they'll be just delighted to see him back in action and picking up wickets. And he's got a good round of applause from those in the Sharks stand as well, away to our left hand side. 3 overs gone, and Kent are 13 for 2.
Goodness me, that one really rose off a length outside the off stump. It's a brilliant delivery, but also maybe with the one keeping just a slight bit low to Daniel Bell-Drummond. This could be a challenging pitch here. As Mills bowls to Finch, he's up on his toes. That's a lovely shot, back foot drive through the offside. Harry Finch looking to carry on where he left off at the Oval. He's been scoring a lot of runs in the seconds, and I'm sure he's only too anxious to prove to head coach Adam Hollyoake that he's entirely wrong to leave him out the side. And certainly that Surrey performance suggested he was in all kinds of form. Concentrates the mind sometimes, competing for a place. Lovely shot, 4 runs, 17 for 2. The Spitfires need them, to be fair. It's Sussex who got off to a flyer here early on at Hove as Mills bowls to Finch. Just levers that one, angles it down to backward point, or deep third in fact. It's fielded by Harrison Ward there, and they'll take themselves just the one to 18 for 2. So they were, where are we? Yeah, 13 for 2. That double wicket maiden for
yes, it was. Yes,
of 3. So yeah, any thoughts of 60, 70, 80 run power plays as we saw at Canterbury between these two sides? Well, unless something very extraordinary happens, we're not going to see that. Billings facing Mills, flicks it off his pads, he's gone!
Caught by Sean Hunt.
It's a leg glance, and Hunt catches, he's in the action again, part of all 3 wickets to fall. And Sam Billings just looks at Sean Hunt, looks to the far end, looks to the heavens, and he is gone. And Kent are 3 down in the power play, and all at sea here, if you'll excuse the pun, at good old Sussex by the sea. They're 3 wickets down for 18 in the 4th over.
We can't keep Sean Hunt out of the action at the moment. And 2 huge wickets. Billings and Crawley, and Bell-Drummond, of course, and particularly Billings and Crawley, who wreaked a lot of damage down at Canterbury in that win earlier on in the season. It went very fast to Sean Hunt, but he was in exactly the right place. It was hit straight to him. And Sam Billings goes, and that's always a very big wicket in T20 cricket as the skipper makes his way back to the dugout at the far end of the ground. Well, Sussex couldn't have wished for a better start.
No, as Joe Denley comes out, he's dropped down to 5 in the last couple of seasons, but has, of course, opened a T20 innings, and he's pretty much doing that at the moment, you'd suggest, in the 4th over here. Wonder how attacking Kent can be. 3 down already, but Sussex, well, we said what a level a T20 can be, and having just won 1 out of the 5 so far, and Kent Cock-a-hoop coming off a massive win at Surrey, suddenly look like they're the ones scratching for form. 18 for 3, and innings in there a slip. There's a gully as well as Mills bowls to Denley. Attempts a straight drive, doesn't middle it into the offside. No great attacking intent. Crocombe fields at cover, and there is no run. So for Denley, it's a deep third, more like a deep backward point really, and a square leg. The outfielders, as I said, they've got 2 static catchers behind on the offside, leaning, and who's the other one there? Tom Alsop.
Yes.
Crawley, as Mills comes charging down the hill towards Denley. Denley goes to this one, tucks it into the onside. It's a run around for Hunt to get his left hand to it. They'll just take the single, and applause, as you can hear, from those Sussex fans.
Just checking, I knew Harry Finch had made runs against Sussex last year. It was the game down at Canterbury, and he made 56. So, and then the game here, I remember it was a game that Sussex, with due respect to Kent, really should have won, but Joe Everson played a super knock and saw Kent over the line. That got Kent on a good roll and, got them into the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they need someone to save them here. Kent at the moment, or a huge rebuilding job, as Mills bowls to Finch up on his toes. Just clips that one into the onside, and they'll take a single, and that's the end of the over. Applause from the Sharks fans here. 20 for 3 then. The wicket of Sam Billings, their captain, who started the series really well in the Blast this year with 84 against Middlesex, 42 not out, and that win against Surrey. He's gone, but it's Harry Finch and Joe Denley now for Kent to try and put the foundations down to a rebuild. For Sean Hunt, he just wants to knock it all down again.
He does, and quite often in T20, I don't know if it's a conundrum for Terrell Mills, but I think when you've bowled a double wicket made, and you think, well, let's just keep him going. So Sean Hunt with his 3rd over, 20 for 3, coming into bowl to Harry Finch, who's 17 not out. He bowls to Finch, who clips that one nicely away through mid-wicket. Henry Crocombe can't quite get there. It's just a single, though, fielded out on the boundary edge by Harrison Ward, who gets a throw in on the bounce to John Simpson. 1 more to the total. It's a pleasant afternoon now. It's quite windy. You can see the trees outside of the ground swaying away, but the sun is out. More sort of watery sunshine, really. But a decent crowd, actually, looking at the Sharks stand away to our left-hand side. This is about 7/8 full. We'd had 3,500 seats sold, so everything gratefully received from Sussex at the minute, with everything that's been going on off the field. I'll be glad that they've got a good attendance here today. In comes Sean Hunt, coming in the bowl to Joe Denley, who's forward and plays this back down the track. Hunt doesn't field the ball cleanly, but he gets enough on it to stop the ball, and the ball dribbles out into the offside, where it's fielded by Danny Briggs, and there is no run.
I wonder what these players do at a stage like this for Kent, when they start calculating, recalculating what's a good score, when they sort of fix in their minds, what do we need on this surface.
Hunt in again, bowls to Denley. He plays that quite late, and Finch will need to get the afterburners on here. The throw came in from Tom Alsop. It didn't hit the stumps, and I think probably Finch was okay, but just for a moment it had a slightly dicey single. Denley goes to 2, 22 for 3. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And I guess maybe at this stage you're thinking, let's, we'll have to build some sort of an inning, so it may just prevent perhaps playing too many risky shots during the power play. As Finch waits, and Hunt runs away from us. Left arm over the wicket, bowls and Finch's forward and plays that carefully onto the onside, slightly across the line. And again, he looks rather suspiciously at the pitch as it's fielded by Crocombe, and there is no run.
Yeah, that was his mind, wasn't it? It's come quickly off the pitch and up and inside part of the bat. So this will be a bit more challenging. That's why I was talking perhaps about recalculation. It may be one of those where you just need to stay in to start judging the pitch.
Hunt bowls and Finch again drives firmly to mid-off, fielded by Daniel Hughes. Again, there is no run. Nice and tight from Sean Hunt. Kent 22 for 3, Bill Drummond for 2, and Crawley and Billings both without scoring back in the pavilion.
Yeah, looking like this win of the toss is a good one from Mills. They
He does
bowled really well, but also if they can put the screws on Kent early, might make it very difficult for them to win this game.
Hunting bowls and Finch is forward and plays that rather uncertainly to backward point. Another good over from Sean Hunt, just the 2 runs conceded from it. And at the end of the 5th over, the Kent Spitfires are 22 for 3. With Harry Finch on... the scoreboard has rather unhelpfully gone off. Joe Denley's got 2.
I think he's on 18.
I think he might be right, yes. I think there was a single, wasn't there, of both of them in that over.
2 for 9 off 3 from Sean Hunt. It ain't bad, especially not when you've only played one T20 plus game before.
Yes.
What a great start. Mills has taken himself out of the attack. Interesting one. Henry Crocombe then. Give Kent something different to think about. Mills may be thinking, if I need me, I'll bring me back.
Yes.
At the death, or if Kent start to get going. Crocombe over the wicket, the right armour, and Denley again, not particularly timing that, but drives it up to a sort of extra cover position. In fact, fielder there, Dan Hughes, just goes wide from his mid-off position. So 22 for 3, and we're in the 6th here on BBC Radio Sussex, BBC Radio Kent, via the BBC Sport website and app. Welcome to listeners on BBC Radio Kent on DAB as well. 23 for 3 Kent Spitfires as Crocombe bowls to Finch on the top of the bounce. He's done really well. Has just timed that on the bounce, bat horizontal as that comes off the middle, and that is 4 runs. Lovely shot.
Beautiful shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, in front of... Is that the... You probably told me it's 100 times the times I've been here. Is that the old pavilion there with the clock on top?
No, I mean the old pavilion was over on this side back in the day.
Say, it's
the clock tower scoreboard.
It's almost like a station, a station clock, isn't it? But there we go. There wasn't a railway running through here at one time. No. Anyway, it's 4 runs. As Crocombe bowls to Finch, goes a little bit short. Finch deals with that one, gets inside the line very quickly. Not the tallest man, saw it coming up towards his head and has placed that perfectly between the man on the boundary at square leg and fine leg, and it's consecutive 4s for Harry Finch. 2
very good shots from Harry Finch. I have to say the first delivery from Henry Crocombe was wide outside the off stump, and Harry Finch very quick to latch onto that short delivery. 2 good shots. He's former Sussex man going very nicely. He's on to 26.
I wonder how much pace there is in this pitch. Whether Henry Crocombe might try that again. 31 for 3. Slower ball from Crocombe, as if to emphasise that. Single taken to the offside. Push and run by Harry Finch, and he goes on to 27 from 32. That's quite some percentage for the former Sussex man. As I said, has been, if not surplus to requirements, just straining noisily at a leash off stage for Kent so far this season. So Denley on 3 from 5. Crocombe bowls to him. Denley just gets tangled up in bat and pad there. Thigh pad drops to the ground. Crocombe on his follow through just picks it up easily. It's gone no more than 4 or 5 feet from Joe Denley. His dark blue Spitfire shirt with the maroon sleeves and dark blue trousers. White boots for him, and so does Harry Finch, but he does have the, is it mango, kind of orangey anyway, heels to his boots. From the Cromwell Road end, down the slight slope comes Henry Crocombe. He takes that on the top of the bounce, Denley. It's really good. Oh, he wants the second, Denley. Finch does not. He had his back turned to Denley, just one in it. I think he's about right there, as well as the throw comes in from Harrison Ward. End of the over, though. It's Kent's most successful so far. Well, they haven't lost a wicket for one thing. It's the end of the power play. 11 off it, 33 for 3. Doesn't look like this is going to be a high-scoring affair, Adrian Holmes. Very much, as far as I can see, advantage Sussex at this stage.
Well, looks like Tamal Mills is going to bowl Sean Hunt out here, which is, well, who am I to say, but the right thing to do, because he's bowled 3 overs, taken 2 for 7, and when you're on a roll like that, it's best just to keep somebody going. So the field can now spread. Only 4 fielders you have to have inside the 30-yard circle. 3 of those are offside, 1 on the leg. The other 5 fielders are scattered around the boundary edge as in comes Hunt and bowls, and Denley drives through backward point, picks up 1. That's all they'll take as the ball is fielded. I think that's Henry Crocombe out on that. Or is it Jack leaning over on that cover boundary? Either way, it's 1 to Denley. He goes to 5, Kent to 34 for 3. As Hunt wanders back to his mark, having picked up the pride wickets, really, of Bill Drummond and Zach Crawley. He's in again, left arm over the wicket, bowls to Harry Finch. He's forward and plays that down the onside of the pitch. Hunt is quickly down and fields off his own bowling, and there is no run. So just those fielders on the boundary edge. There's a fine leg, a deep backward square leg, and a deep mid wicket. There's a third man way down at the far end of the ground in front of the temporary seating. It's temporary seating that just goes up for the T20 blast. Blue seats, and they're about 3/4 full as well, as in comes Hunt and bowls and driven uppishly and caught by Daniel Hughes at mid-off, and Sean Hunt has picked up a 3rd wicket, and Harry Finch is on his way for 27. Good catch by Daniel Hughes, low down. Finch has gone, and Sean Hunt is having a day to remember. He's picked up his 3rd wicket of the innings. Figures so far of 3 for 8 in his 4th over. And Harry Finch goes.
What an astonishing run this is from Sean Hunt, and once again Tamal Mills absolutely right to keep him on, as you were suggesting as well, Adrian. Why take him off? He could be effectively winning the game for Sussex Sharks early on here by slicing through Kent. So Finch has gone for 27, and Kent in all sorts of trouble, and Sussex must be scenting victory already here. It's very, very close to them, you'd think. 34 for 4. Kent, well, once again, you'd say a rebuilding job needed. Just 20, that partnership. Seemed like they were getting going, but Finch has gone. Hunt, once again, with a wicket.
Well, what I would say is that Sussex will certainly not be counting their chickens here, because in so many games this season, the game down at Canterbury was one, the game here on Friday night against Leicestershire and other, where Sussex seem to get themselves in good positions in these matches, but then something goes wrong. But this is the best position they've been in a match. There's no question about that. I'm sure that Benjamin, I mean, there's still some batting down the order, isn't it? Jake Linton, Grant Stewart has Grant Stewart spent some time on loan here actually a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
I think comes Hunt coming into bowl, and he nudged that behind. No, he hasn't. He had a little play and a miss though. Did Chris Benjamin goes through to John Simpson, and there is no run.
Yeah, they got himself in a really sticky position here, Kent, or rather Sean Hunt has bowled them into this position, Kent, as Benjamin comes out. So there's the last of the recognised batters with Jake Lintott, who can also score a rate, but that's probably not what they need right now. They need someone to stick in.
Hunt again bowls to Benjamin, who's forward, plays it down the offside of the track. Hunt fields off his own bowling, and there is no run. So he could end up with some quite remarkable figures here, Sean Hunt. He's got one more ball to go in his spell of 4 overs, and his figures so far are 3.5 overs, 3 for 8.
Yeah.
Which is remarkable.
With a maiden in there as well.
With a maiden, yeah. So, can he finish off this spell with another dot ball? Benjamin waits, Hunt is in bowls, and Benjamin eases that through the covers, so picks up another run. Does do Kent, first one to Chris Benjamin, and Sean Hunt's going to get a good round of applause from the Sussex faithful here at the county ground, because he's picked up 3 wickets, he takes his cap, that's his work done for the day. Ollie Carter comes running up and gives him a big pat on the back. He's a very popular figure around Hove, is Sean Hunt. So he's had a miserable time with injuries, and whilst it's not great news for Kent, it's good news for a young cricketer who's had a really, really tough time. And he gets a standing ovation. I know there are his mates in the crowd away to our left-hand side, but they're standing up and applauding him heartily. So, end of the over. 35 for 4 at the end of the 7th over.
Yes, indeed. And Sussex, at the moment, dominating this game, and it's Jack Leaning, formerly of Kent, to bowl to Chris Benjamin. Pace off, this will be interesting. If there is a little bit of variable bounce as well, this could be very difficult to get away for Kent. Let's see what happens. Can Leaning make it harder even? So, it's a thickish outside edge. Back spin on it from Benjamin. I'm not sure if that was a cut even, that shot, but he's thrown the bat at it, and it spun almost backwards as it hit the ground. And Tamar Mills picks it up at third, and they take themselves 37 for 4. And yeah, that will really will be a challenge here. This one's back at leading from Benjamin, and there's no run. Joe Denley, by the way, at the far end, thanks to Liam, the Kent office has just said he's reached 5,000 runs in T20 Kent cricket, the first Kent player to do it. And but he won't be thinking about that at the moment. Single taken to the offside from Benjamin. It's a dive from Danny Lamb, but can't quite get onto it. Fielder on the boundary comes in to complete the fielding. So yeah, fantastic landmark for Joe Denley. 5,000 runs for Kent in T20 cricket. Just do with the odd 20 or 30 here. He's leaning to Denley on the back foot, rocks back, cuts that away towards the boundary. Side-armed in by Harrison Ward.
Just hearing that sorry, Matt.
Not at all. So leaning round the wicket, I should say, the off-spinner to Benjamin. Benjamin pushes forward. Thinks better regressing that, no run.
Yes, apparently that over for the Sean Hunt spell is the third most economical 4-over spell in T20 history for Sussex.
Wow.
So, well done, Sean.
Yeah, 4 for 9, was it?
It was 4-4 at, 8 runs, I think.
Sorry, 4 for 8, beg your pardon. Giving away extra runs for him. He's leaning to Benjamin. Cuts that away, but only as far as the fielder. It's the end of the over. It's the first one of spin. It's gone for just the 4. And Kent Spitfires 39 for 4 in the 8th over here. And Sussex all sorts of on top here.
Yeah, completely my fault. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 9,
3 for 9.
For Sean Hunt. And the only 2 bowlers who have recorded better T20 figures were Robin Martin-Jenkins and James Kirtley, who's the current Sussex bowling coach. Both against Hampshire in the same game. I take no credit for those stats at all. Thank you very much to Isaac Gleave from the excellent Sussex media team. As in comes Danny Briggs, bowls and cut away by Joe Denley, who's played a lot of T20 cricket and certainly won't have given this up. He goes to 7. Spitfires to 40 for 4. There's a long way to go, and we've seen so much T20 cricket down the years, Matt. You never know the way these games are going to turn out. Last year, as I say, the game between Kent and Sussex, Kent looked out of it. Briggs in bowls, and Benjamin nudges that into the offside, fielded at point by the aforementioned Sean Hunt. And there is no run.
Yeah, that's had a really good decision by Mills to bowl first, but his bowlers have done him absolute credit.
Briggs in bowls and played into the offside by Benjamin. He picks up a single, fielded down on the cover boundary by Tom Alsop. 1 more to the total. It goes to 41 for 4. Nice hush around the ground.
Yeah.
People just engrossed in the cricket on an increasingly pleasant afternoon down here on the south coast. In comes Briggs bowls, and using his feet is Denley and drives out beautifully. That's a lovely shot. Beautifully played. Good bit of fielding by Ollie Carter, who races round from long off to field and gets in the throw. But a classic off drive by Joe Denley, using his feet, and beautifully played. He picks up a couple of runs. Total moves on to 43 for 4. Briggs again. Was pulled away. That's too short from Danny Briggs, and good bit of footing by Jack Leaning. He rather gets his teammate out of trouble there on the long on boundary, but it's a single to Benjamin, who goes to 5. The total to 44 for 4.
I think Denley might have been a bit frustrated there. Didn't quite time it, did he?
No.
But,
Briggs again, bowls to Benjamin, who just eases that down the ground, and Jack Leaving called into action again. And it is another single. So end of the over, 45 for 4. So 6 runs coming off of that Danny Briggs over at the end of the 9th over, with Benjamin and Denley just looking to repair the damage after Bell Drummond for 2, Crawley and Billingsworth outscoring, Harry Finch for 27, the men out. Sean Hunt picking up 3 wickets for 9 runs in his opening spell, or his only spell, from the sea end of the ground.
Yeah, I don't know where Kent's heads are here. Obviously a little bit scrambled by losing 4 early wickets, but it ain't going to be 200 plays 200 here, that's for sure. Leaning to, Benjamin goes for an extravagant sweep, 1 bounce out to the fielder on the cover boundary, and that'll be a single. They go on to 46 for 4. So what is good from here? I'm not sure 10 and over for the second half is going to be quite within Kent's arc. So maybe not 150 as Denley drives. It was a gentle drive up to long on, just takes a single. Looks like they're farming the spinners at this point.
I often wonder with these sort of situations whether you just bat until, if they don't lose another wicket until, perhaps 5 overs to go, and then reappraise
See where they are, if they've still got batters to come in. I said they've got some explosive batters, Stewart, and as Benjamin's top edge that one, it's going to fall short of the man at square leg. Again, he's looking to sweep that. It ended up looking a pretty ugly shot. As he's just sort of helped it behind square. 1 bounce to the fielder, single taken. Yeah. Keith Dodgen, we know, can give the ball a solid hit. So too Jake Lintott. And then Milnes and Clarkson, no mugs, but what you'd be expecting when you get down to 10 and 11. As Denley works out behind square. A misfield from Sean Hunt, but not enough to encourage them for a try for a second. 49 for 4. Will they even make their half century by the end of the 10th over? This is a different kind of T20 cricket than we see very often in the blast. As leading bowls, a little bit of a drag down that one, perhaps cut away by Benjamin for a single, so they do get to 50. As you can tell from the rapturous applause.
I can see a few Kent fans are coming into the ground.
There'll be many, absolutely, but probably feeling a bit subdued at the moment. This is leaning as well. Again, rather, it's going almost like a medium pace delivery, that one. Not much spin on it, a little bit quicker. That'll be a single for Denley, end of the over, 51 for 4. So 6 off the over. It is indeed a single off each ball. And Sussex hoping to turn the screw further here. Obviously, if they get them as low as 120 here, and they're just looking at a run a ball, you can see how that will be doable. You can take all the pressure off your batters at that point. That's what Tamar Mills is hoping he can do for his batting lineup.
Well, Henry Croker with a change of ends here. He's going to be bowling up the hill. His opening over was from the Cromwell Road, and it was the most expensive over of the innings. It went for 11 runs. So maybe hoping for a change of fortune from the sea end. Kent picked up 6 runs over there comfortably. These two would have played a lot of cricket, and they might fit if they get off the next 5 overs. If they can pick up 30 or 40 runs, that gets you to 100. Then 5 overs to go. Kent will certainly feel from where they were. You just say these games have a habit of twisting and turning. As Crocombe runs away from us, comes into bowl to Joe Denley's in and bowls, and Denley nudges that one down to where the slip cord would normally be, and picks up a single. John Simpson it is who nips round from behind the stumps to field. He threw away one of his wicket-keeping gloves in doing so. So just the one to Denley. He goes to 14, Kent to 52 for 4. Henry Crocombe literally just down it. We can always reach out and touch him. He's just down in front of us. This high action sprints in and bowls, and that's down the leg side, and that's going to be single wide. I think that's the first extra of the innings, actually. It's certainly the first wide. Sussex on Friday night on something like 9 wide, so it's a far more disciplined bowling performance from Sussex today.
Yeah, no extras before this. You're absolutely right, Adrian.
Crocombe in again to bowl to Benjamin. He's in and bowls, and Benjamin is forward and plays that to it on, fielded there by Daniel Hughes, who trots in from the edge of the 30-yard circle. And there is no run. Benjamin goes to double figures. He's on 10. Kent 54 for 4. The four fielders inside the 30-yard circle. There's a short third man on the edge of the circle, a cover point mid-off and a mid-on. So Crocombe is in again, bowls to Denley, who plays that one away through the onside and picks up a single. It'll only be a single as Jack Leaving comes running in and sends in not the best throw to John Simpson, who makes light of it. And it is just a single. Denley to 15. Okay, just trying to build some sort of a total here. 55 for 4. These two coming together when the score was 34 for 4. So a partnership of 21, just steadying the Spitfire ship as Crocombe is in again, bowls and played to mid-off, fielded there by Tamel Mills. Just had to get a bit of a move on there, did Chris Benjamin. He was rather dawdling the run. He suddenly realised that Tamel Mills does throw the ball right-handed and not left. He might bowl left-handed, and it went to Tamel's right hand, and I think Benjamin suddenly realised and had to get a bit of a move on to complete the single. 56 for 4. Sussex winning the toss and electing to bowl first as Crocombe is in again. Bowls pulled away onto the leg side. It's just going to be a single though. Fielded by Leading, who moves smartly from deep mid-wicket to field. There's a better throw on the bounce to Simpson. One more to the total. Denley goes to 16. Kent 57 for 4. So 6 runs off the over so far. And a change in the field. The long on, who was down below as Daniel Hughes, is coming up inside the circle. And the short fine leg is going now back down to fine leg all the way on the boundary as Crocombe is in again. Bowls and a ramp shot. Now that's an adventurous shot. Is he going to be caught by Sean Hunt? No, he's not. But picks up a single. Well, that was an adventurous shot by Benjamin. Looking to ram the ball over the keeper. He did so, but it went high rather than length. But he gets away with it. Another over drifts by. I reckon that's 7 runs off the over. The scoreboard has literally just gone off. But by my reckoning, Kent are 58 for 4 at the end of the 11th.
Yeah, answers on a postcard as to where that one was headed, to be honest. Sean Hunt had an unenviable task of running, almost scampering around in a circle, trying to work out whether it was going to land. And he eventually was coming over his shoulder, I think, wasn't it, as well? So impossible to catch. But yeah, Kent get away with that one. 58 for 4 then in the 11th.
I wondered with the day that Sean Hunt's had whether he might have gone for a spectacular sort of diving catch, but it was there was no chance of that. So new bowler is Danny Lamb taking pace off as well. This is driven into the offside and stopped there by Dan Hughes in the covers, and there's no run. Kent's women are playing in the in League 2 of the T20 Blast against Glamorgan. They have them 53 for 4 at the moment at Newport. 2 for 5 there from Izzy James off 2 overs. Can do with a win. It's Lamb to Benjamin, waits for that one. It's lovely, deft little cut away. That'll be 4 runs. It's always going to beat the fielder. The ball was actually gaining momentum down the slight slope, and that will be 4. But yeah, lovely touch shot that. Beautifully played, wasn't it, by Chris Benjamin? And you're right, Matt, once the ball, we have had a lot of rain here over the last few days. The outfield looks fabulous. It's lovely and lush and green, but it belies the fact that he's very, very fast. And once it runs away from a fielder running down the slope here towards the sea, there's very little chance of overhauling the ball. So Lamb comes in once again from the road end to bowl to Benjamin. Rolls the wrists over this one. Drops short, the fielder coming all the way in from the boundary on the leg side, but they do just take the one there. That's Tom Alsop, is it, I think? Yes, it is. Yes, it is, yeah. Just trotting in. See Benjamin studying that one, I think. Going through the cogs there, the cogs moving. Is that one, is it two? Just the one. Lamb again. I'm not sure that's on the back of his hand, but floating in towards Denley. Doesn't aggress that. 64 for 4 as he takes a single. 6 off the over so far. But finding it very difficult to accelerate, Kent. And as you said, Adrian, with the start they had,
33 for 3 off the power play, 35 for 4 off 7. They may just be thinking, let's see where we are at the end of 15 and go from there, as Benjamin clips that backward a square. And it'll be a single taken. Carter with the fielding.
Yes, he came into the side on Friday night for his first game, Ollie Carter.
And once more, hubbub of conversation as you can hear around the ground. This is run up to long on by Denley. And no real aggressive intent here from the two batters, just trying to keep the scoreboard ticking over. And that is indeed 8 from the over. Not a bad return, 66 for 4. But it does seem, when they're trying to work the bowlers around, particularly outside the power play, that is working. It's when they try and aggress the ball is the problem, trying to speed up the run rate. It's proving very, very difficult for them. Well bowled Sussex so far.
Yeah, partnership of 32, which may not seem many, but these two are just trying to build some sort of foundation here for Kent. Danny Briggs back into the attack, bowling his left-arm spin in and bowls, and clipped away by Denley, back to the square on the leg side, fielded by Henry Crocombe, who throws on the bounce to John Simpson. Just one more to the total. Benjamin on 18, Denley on 17. Briggs back to his... Sussex sort of rattling through their overs here, actually. Briggs and bowls to Benjamin, who drives firm, actually timing as well as I thought, but he's going to pick up a single too long off, fielded there by Ollie Carter, who comes into field. One more to the total. Denley and Benjamin both on 19. At some stage they will need to accelerate, but I think they'll pick another couple of 3 overs of picking up 7s and 8s and over. Briggs in, down the wicket comes Denley, and drives again down to long off. Didn't quite time it. Again, Carter fields. One more to the total, which should go up by 1. Yes, there we go. 69 for 4. 3 runs off the over so far. Briggs again bowls, and Denley back and hammers that down the ground, just down in front of us, fielded by Jack Leaning. Here's another single. Well, kept having trouble timing the ball and getting the ball away, and you never know in these games. You know 130, but could be a good score today. Who knows? Yeah. Briggs in, bowls, heaved away onto the leg side. Again, it's just a single to Joe Denley, fielded down at deep backwards square leg by Henry Crocombe, who gets in the throw. So 5 singles off the over. Benjamin on 20, Denley on 21. Kent would love a boundary here. Yeah. Briggs in again, bowls, and well pitched up, and Benjamin just caresses that onto the onside. They're going to come back for a second, which is a little risky. Leaning gets it in the throw. It's good running actually by Jack Leaning. He was running to the danger end by Jack Leaning, by Joe Denley I mean. Came back very quickly running to the danger end. So 2 off the final ball of the over. I'm fairly certain that, yes, there we go. At the end of the over, Kent are 73 for 4. So 7 off the over. It's not earth shattering, but these two are still together, and they're just nudging Kent along to a total, who knows, maybe defendable on a pitch that does look a little tricky for batting.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think of shots that you've seen sweetly timed on this pitch so far, and a couple from Harry Finch when the ball went short. Certainly one lovely cover drive which only got him 2 from Joe Denley, but it is probably on the fingers of one hand at the moment. They're finding it very tough out there. Sweeps, misses, appeal for LBW. Who says the umpire, coming round the wicket, the spinner.
These two would have played together a bit, Leaning and Denley down the year.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, for Kent. Jack Leaning's a long spell at Kent. On the wicket now, bowls Denley, comes down the pitch, stumps it straight back past Jack Leaning. Will that get him 4? It will. Well, there we go. I'll add 1 to the number of for sweetly timed shots. But used his feet really well there, did Joe Denley, and that all the way along the ground. That's an ankle biter, that one, isn't it? Or a toe biter. 4 runs for Denley, taking the opportunity when they can. So Leaning will be looking at that, thinking, Denley's going to give me the charge. Is it one trying to speed one past him here? No, gives him some air again. That's going to be 6 runs this time, I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
From Denley, that's sweetly struck. Well, As I said, they're barely timing the ball at all, these batters.
That's right, it's a super batting track.
It's just been incredible bowling, and Kent got themselves into trouble, but...
Two good shots though,
yeah.
Matt, and I think he's doing pretty much what we said. I think these two have batted really sensibly. I mean, that's the 50 partnership, no, with partnership of 49. I mean, they've got themselves, possibly posting a decent score here,
Yeah, 83 for 4, but Leaning will know he's in with a chance as well if Denley's going to swing for the fences here. Comes round the wicket once more. Denley's down the pitch, stifles him a bit on leg stump there. They'll come back for 2 though. They should have come back.
Yeah, they should.
Surely. Just a little bit of indecision there. It was a good throw, actually coming in from Henry Crocombe, who come round from mid-on, but I don't know, it's easy from here, isn't it? Felt like there was a second in there.
No, I agree.
84 for 4. 11 off the over already, though, from 4 balls, which is, in the context of the match, very good for Kent indeed. Leaning bowls to Bender, goes to the sweep, that'll be out, and it's Sean Hunt, of course it is, catching at fine leg. He's taken 3 wickets, he's now taken 2 catches, involved in 5 of the 6 wickets to fall. He's having the day out of his dreams, Sean Hunt, and he's got Chris Benjamin as well. Just as Kent were looking to move the score along here, it is 84 for 5, Kent Spitfires in the 14th.
Well, I rather opened my mouth a bit too soon there from a Kent point of view, didn't I? But with those two going along very nicely, it was a 50 partnership though, Matt, between
in the end,
Benjamin and
exactly
Denley.
50, yeah.
Little surprised that Tamar Mills turned to Joe Denley, because bowling-wise, you've got Lamb, Briggs, Crocombe, Mills, and Hunter. I thought would do the majority of the bowling. I guess Leaning gives you another option, and he's picked up a wicket, so maybe that's a good decision by the skipper. But there was no question that Denley and Benjamin had decided they were going to target Jack Leaning.
Here comes Grant Stewart then. As I said, he played in the first game of the season in the county championship, picked up a calf injury, and hasn't played since. So once again, Grant Stewart and Jack Leaning will be well known to each other. Grant Stewart is a big hitter.
He is.
Can they pin him down here? Sussex 1 ball to come of Leaning's over, driven by Stewart, up too long off, and that is 1 to the total, and the Spitfires 84 for 5 from 14. And you think from here, well, again, it's very easy to say, but they'll be looking at 130 as a minimum, you'd think. But they do have, they're 5 down as well, Kent, so the resources are starting to dwindle as far as batters go. Is it about Joe Denley, giving Joe Denley as much strike as possible?
I remember Grant Stewart hitting one of the biggest sixes I've ever seen, actually, when he was playing for Sussex. Sussex were playing down at New Road against Worcestershire. It was a lost cause, but Grant Stewart came in and thrashed, from memory, 60 or 70, and hit a massive 6 over the media centre at New Road. So he does hit the ball a long way. 85 for 5 are Kent, 6 overs to go. What can they post as Briggs comes in, bowls to Denley, who plays that one firmly away through backward point, fielded out there by Tom Alsop. Just a single to Denley. He goes to, is that Denley or was that Stewart?
Stewart, he took a single off the last.
Apologies, that's bad commentary from me. Stewart to 2. Briggs into bowl to Joe Denley, who again doesn't really time this. He was looking to hammer that one away through extra cover. He picks up a single, and again it's the same fielder, Tom Alsop, who comes smartly in from the cover boundary to field. 1 more to the total, 87 for 5. Danny Briggs in his 3rd over. Round the wicket bowls. Stewart leans back, but he can only find Daniel Hughes, who's fielding there at short extra cover. Dot ball. Briggs, he does get through his overs very, very quickly. Around the wicket again, bowls, hammered away to backward point, another wicket goes down, and it's Sean Hunt again, who's taken his 3rd catch of the innings. He's also taken 3 wickets. Maybe Sean Hunt should open the batting for Sussex today, because he's having that sort of a day, and Grant Stewart is on his way, and Kent have lost their 6th wicket.
Well, he came to swing for the fences, certainly Grant Stewart. There was no doubt about that, trying to cut that away, and like many before him have perished, and almost all before him have perished in some means, to Sean Hunt, who talk about players and their wildest dreams when they come into a game, particularly their second T20 players game. He's been involved in almost everything, Sean Hunt, as wicket taking goes.
So Grant Stewart is out for 2, and Kent 87 for 5, 87 for 6, I'm sorry. So just as when it looked as if Kent were maybe looking to build something to defend, they've lost a couple of wickets, and again the innings rather stalls. Let's see what is Keith Dudgeon who's coming. It is.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say just when they thought it was safe to go back in the water. It's from here come the Sussex Sharks.
Briggs in, bowls, and Dudgeon just plays that to mid-wicket, fielded there by Daniel Hughes.
If it's not one of the lines from Jaws, it ought to be.
Yes. just the 2 runs off the over so far. Briggs in again, bowls to Dudgeon, who again just nudges that, but this time he does pick up a single as John Simpson needs to trot from behind the stumps to field. So nice and tidy from Danny Briggs, just 3 runs coming off of the over. And at the end of the 15th over, Kent are 88 for 6. And you rather feel that Joe Denley is a key here to Kent building a total. As I say, from a Sussex point of view, I don't think there'll be any Sussex supporters in the ground who are counting their chickens here, because Sussex have rather shown an ability to implode with their batting during this competition. However, I'm sure from a Sussex point of view you'd rather be Sussex than Kent at the moment with the Spitfires. 88 for 6 with 5 overs remaining.
Yeah, and Dudgeon, we know from his county championship form for Kent so far, has been really good with the bat. It's in the 30s and 40s. Didn't get to bat in his 1 T20 so far against Surrey. They didn't need him. They certainly need him now. The Kent Spitfires, as Crocombe bowls to him, Yorker length, is a great delivery, but just nudged away by Dudgeon, almost on the defensive. Gets Denley on strike, which could be key.
I just wonder I was just wondering with Joe Denley here whether he thinks, well, actually, now I might just need to reset my target and just make sure I'm here at the end.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And they can get Kent to maybe 120, 130. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a good call. Here is Crocombe then to Denley. Oh, slashes that just past his stumps. Bottom hand comes off. Who knows where he was trying to hit that, but all the plans were lost in that delivery from Crocombe. It's hit the inside edge eventually, a flashing blade. I think Joe Denley, was that a back foot drive?
I think he was. I think he was looking at sort of punching away through extra cover.
Yeah, I think he was, but ended up on the leg side. He's got away with that one, no doubt about that. Crocombe then to Dudgeon. Spitfires 90 for 6, goes to the ramp. Does he hit it? He doesn't. If he had, he's rubbing his shoulder. Yes. There we go. Oh, poor old Keith Dudgeon.
Yes.
Making very sure that everybody realises it's not hit his bat.
That could have been quite painful, because Henry Crocombe
is just caught on perhaps on the bone on the shoulder there. I'd imagine Keith Dudgeon's got probably quite a lot more muscle than me covering his shoulders, but just trying to feel out where that might have been. But yeah, just looking a little bit discomforted. But certainly didn't feel he'd hit that. So Crocombe to Dudgeon now. Yorker, that's a good shot from Dudgeon.
Yeah.
He's glanced that away. Again, it's a really good length from Crocombe, spearing into his toes. Somehow that's been glanced away for 4 from Dudgeon. That's a great shot.
It is, and welcome runs for Kent. 6 short of 100, there's still 4 overs to go.
Yeah, I just saw Joe Denley at the far end, just loosening up one of the calves. I don't want another injury here, Kent. 94 for 6. So 2 balls to come in the 16th over here. Dudgeon's on to 5. Denley has 34. He's top scored in this by quite some way. Making some room. Dudgeon, has that hit him? It's hit something. It's gone up in the air. Did he come off the glove even?
Or his helmet? Or
he took evasive action.
He did.
I think it's glove or top of the bat at the very most, but he's tried to take evasive action from a short ball from Crocombe and has somehow managed. That's dropped on the onside for a single, so he's all right. He didn't know much about it though.
No, I thought for a moment it hit him on the helmet, but thank goodness he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. Maybe only the pride's hurt a little bit. Yeah, it just goes up the glove. As Denley, it's a full toss. They take a single. Sean Hunt go for the run out.
Oh.
Well, I think the Dudgeon would have been safe anyway, but pardon me for getting excited. Sean Hunt, golden arm and also golden bucket hands today. Who would have bet against him running out Keith Dudgeon as the non-striker there? But he doesn't. Dudgeon's home. Single taken at the end of the over. It's 96 for 6. So they took 8 off the over, and they really needed it. 4 overs to go for Kent to make what they can here. For what their bowlers might bowl at the moment, it's looking like a very, very limp total.
That would have been slightly ridiculous, wouldn't it, if Sean Hunt had effected a brilliant run out. I mean, I think we'd have said, wow.
We could have all gone home.
I think we could have all gone home.
To just pull the stumps up. Everyone's had a lovely day out.
Yes.
Sean Hunt gets carried off on everyone's shoulders.
Tamal Mills is back into the attack. Comes running into bowl to Joe Denny. Heaves that away. That's 6. Wow. Too short from Tamal Mills. And Denny just said, thanks very much, picked it up beautifully, timed the ball, smacks against the scoreboard and ricochets back onto the field. That's the first 6 of the innings, I think.
Ironically, it highlighted Tamal Mills's... Or was that already there because he is bowling? No, it's basically hit the number 7 of Tamal Mills. How much more insult do you want? It's hit the scoreboard.
Well, Joe Denley goes to 41. Well, we said people haven't timed that very well. Well, he timed that one. That was a great shot by...
yeah, it was indeed.
3 men guarding the leg side boundary, but neither of them had a chance of cutting that off. Mills in and bowls and down the leg side. They're going to take a single. Keith Dudgeon very quick to get down the far end. I think Joe Denley was slightly reluctant because he's probably thinking, well, I think that's 6. I'm having another go here. But they've taken the signal. I guess at this stage you have to take every run that's on offer.
Yeah, like you, I do wonder whether they could have just held there. Dudgeon is doing the right thing from his point of view, backing up for every single run here, but Denny's the only one, apart from, well, actually, he and Harry Finch have looked like they're in the game. To give Chris Benjamin his credit, he didn't look like he was middling the ball for his 22. He did very well to stay in for that long.
I agree.
But
the judging will just look for the single here. There's a single anywhere on the leg side in front of square, to be honest. I think comes Mills bowls and Dudgeon heaves that one away onto the leg side. Well, he's going to get a single that goes all the way out to the leg side boundary, fielded by Harrison Ward in front of the clock tower scoreboard. So 8 off the over. Joe Denley back on spike, back on strike. 104 for 6. Nudging their way towards is it a good total? We'll have to see.
It's hard to know, isn't it, at this point?
Mills ruefully wanders back to his mark. And his hop and a skip on his way again to bowl to Denley in a bowls, and Denley hammers that. He should get caught down here at long. Well, actually, it was just a yard or so in front of Jack Leaning, rather, down in front of. I thought for a minute that was going to carry to Leaning, but it did. And perhaps just emphasising again that perhaps it's slightly difficult to time. Denley goes to 42, 105 for 6.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. If he timed it better, it might have gone straight down Jack Leaning's throat, but just falling a bit short.
Mills back to his mark. He's going to come in from the C end of the ground. Bowling to Keith Dudgeon. He's in the bowls, and Dudgeon drives. They're going to get a single down to third man. Good stop by you-know-who.
We do by now. If you're just joining us, it's Sean Hunt.
Yes, it is.
3 wickets, 3 catches, very close to getting himself a run out in the last over as well.
And then a good stop down at third man. He's having a good day. I'm sure his parents are here.
I very much hope they are.
Yeah.
What a day this is for the Hunt family.
It is, and particularly because the last time I saw Sean's dad actually was down at Worcester the last game of the season. They just turned up to watch the game. And poor Sean was very upset because he'd reoccurrence of an injury, he couldn't play, and the parents were just going around to watch him, and I really felt for them. So, wheel has turned full circle today. In comes Mills to bowl to Joe Denley. He's in and bowls, and Denley plays that down the ground. He's going to get caught down here at long off. Taken securely by Daniel Hughes. And Denley's good innings comes to an end. Well held by Daniel Hughes down here at long off. Straight to him, in all fairness. And Denley goes, and I'm not going to say with him goes the chances of Kent maybe getting 130, 140, but he's been the one player he's played a very sensible innings, Joe Denley, but probably feeling at some stage he needed to open his shoulders a bit. But he goes for 42 off 34 balls with 2 sixes and a 4. And Kent lose their 7th wicket.
Yeah, you don't want to call this over, but what sort of total can Kent post here? Can anything competitive? Because, again, the advantage Sussex have got by winning the toss and bowling first is they can. At this point, it looks very much like they're going to be able to push the ball around and keep themselves very much within the required rate. Kent are going to have to bowl and field brilliantly, it looks like, to win this game, because Sussex have put themselves a long way ahead.
So I just wonder, when you're chasing a low total, whether you do that and push the ball around, or whether you sort of go the way that you would normally play. And sometimes you can get caught betwixt and between.
So they made 10 off that over. Jake Lintott joins Dudgeon at the crease. Briggs bowls to Dudgeon. Little nudge into the onside. Well, they go for 2 here. It'd be very risky. So they decide not to. Quite right. Alsop was flying in there. Left arm goes down. Low throw. Accurate enough to prove they shouldn't have done. 107 for 7. So Jake Lintott certainly is a capable batter. What can he give Kent here? His new side, having signed for this T20 Blast competition, comes down the pitch, just checks that into the offside. There'll be a single, more or less on the full. I'm not sure if Briggs saw him coming, but difficult to get away. Hughes fields. And there is, so just the one. Dudgeon goes for this long handle. It's in the space in the onside. I'll just come back for 2. Henry Crocombe is running around the boundary. Did really well to get to it, and a good accurate throw as well. Kept them very honest there, but it is 2 for Dudgeon. He moves on to 11.
Yes, if that had been this end of the ground, they'd have gone for 6.
Yeah.
But it's the longest part of the ground out there towards the players' pavilion.
It was safe. He made a very good contact with it. 4 off the over so far. The bowlers might have to do the batting here. Makes room for himself here. He's got hold of that one. Will that be 6? And will Alsop catch him on the boundary? No. It's the first of that. The former. Alsop can't reach it. It's 6 for Keith Dudgeon. And as I said, he's been powerful in the county championship for Kent with the bat. And 6 here for them. These are very important runs, or could be, just to give him and the rest of the bowling line-up something to bowl at.
Yeah, big hit, wasn't it? Good shot.
Longer part of the boundary there over mid-wicket. This one drives into the onside. Doesn't look like there's 2. There isn't, just a single taken, and Lintott will come on strike. Just thinking what Dudgeon's done in the championship so far for Kent. So yeah, 38-41, 39-44 scores in the championship for Kent so far this season. Really good from a supposed tail-ender. Lintott faces now. It's a full toss.
Oh, got away with
he
that.
was swinging for the sight screens. It's come on the outside of the bat. Thickish edge, as you say, Adrian. He's got away with that. I think both of them have, to be honest, bowler and batter, because that's gone for a single out to backward point. End of the over. And that is 118 for 7, Kent, off 18.
Well, Kent won here last year. They needed to score 149 to win. They finished 151 for 8. So I know they're a little short of that at the minute, but that gives you some idea that it's a smallish ground, Hove. Sometimes you don't need 200 to win a game here. So we'll just have to see how competitive this total is. Jamal Mills is going to bowl the penultimate over. That says 118 for 7. Mills is in, bowls, and looking for a scoop shot there was Lintott, but it dribbles along the floor to John Simpson, and there is no run. So their last over cost 12. I think, if Kent could get upwards of 130 here, they might feel they've, who knows, but they might just feel they've given themselves a chance.
Yeah.
Sussex, by the same token, will be very keen to make sure these are 2 very tight last overs, as Mills is back to his mark. 3 men saving, 1 on the offside, 1 on the leg. And Jamal Mills comes into bowl to Lintott, who plays that one down to long off. He can pick up a single, and it's Dudgeon who's going to be on strike. 18 of 12 deliveries. Total goes to 119 for 7.
It's another shot from Lintott where he's finding it as difficult as anyone, isn't he? Just to middle the ball there. That's nowhere near the shot I think he wanted to play, but just sort of bunted it into the offside for a single.
Danny Briggs finished with 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 28. There's Mills in now lovely afternoon sunshine, despite quite a lot of cloud around. Is in and bowls to Dudgeon, who plays that one away through the offside. Now they'll look for 2 here, I'd have thought. They'll come back. Well, there was definitely a second there because there was a misfield. I think that's Jack Leaning out there. They were looking for 2 and Leaning was aware of it, and as so often it's so easy just to take your eyes off the ball. It wasn't Jack Leaning. Jack Leaning's down here at long off, so Ollie Carter out there perhaps. Either way, it was just a single. And Lintop back on strike, 120 for 7. The umbrella's away to our right hand side. It is billowing a little in the wind, so it is a breezy afternoon. As Mills, the sun disappears. Left arm over the wicket, bowls to Lintop, who's hammered that one down the ground, and this should be caught. Daniel Hughes is right. There's 2 players going for it. Danny Briggs takes responsibility, and that's a good catch by Danny Briggs, and I think Daniel Hughes is rather pleased that he went for it. It was one of those awful moments, just for a minute, when I thought that 2 fielders were going for the same ball, but Danny Briggs was chasing back. Daniel Hughes was running towards the ball, but in the end Danny Briggs took responsibility and took the catch, and the 8th Kent wicket goes down. And that's the wicket of Jake Lintott, who is on his way for, I think that was 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was indeed.
Yes, 3 or 5 deliveries for Jake Lintott. And is this going to be Matt Milnes? Yes, it is.
Should
Matt
be
Milnes.
next, I think, with Clarkson will be their last man.
Keith Dudgeon very much the man at the moment for Kent. He's on 19. Kent now 120 for 8 with that departure of Jake Lintott.
Of course, the rules have changed a couple of seasons ago, haven't they? So it doesn't matter if you cross while the ball's in the air or not. It will be the new batter coming in. So Matt Milnes, see what he can do here.
3rd wicket of the innings for Jamal Mills. As Mills is in, bowls, full toss, hammered away through the offside, straight to cover. The throw came in from Danny Briggs. If it hit, I think Mills might have been struggling. But Mills's heart would have been in his mouth momentarily there, because that wasn't far away. It was a full toss. Of course, if it's over waist high, you could be in trouble with free hits and the like.
Yeah, umpire Long gave the signal to
that it was okay.
Umpire Newell there that it was below the waist. Yeah, he said it actually made a little mime to say it was dipping towards his pads. So, but you're right. Sometimes heart and mouth time for one Dudgeon on a free hit.
Oh, he's going to be hitting towards the short leg side boundary here, is Keith Dudgeon. 121 for 8. Mills is in, bowls, and Dudgeon drives firmly. They're going to take a single. Briggs shies at the stumps, misses again, but not by very much. It's a single to Keith Dudgeon, and the good news for Kent there is it means he will have strike in the final over. But a good over from Jamal Mills, and at the end of the 19th over, Kent are 122 for 8. It just remains to be seen whether that's a good score or not.
Yeah, bowled really well. Jamal Mills then going 3 for 28 off his 4. 3 for 9 for Sean Hunt.
Yes.
The outstanding figures, no doubt about that. And winning on economy rate, winning on wickets, winning on everything. Winning at life today. Henry Crocombe 1 for 25 off 3 so far. We'll bowl the next one. Leaning 1 for 22. Briggs 1 for 28, as you said, off his 4. Leaning bowled 3, and Danny Lamb none for 8 off 1. Jamal Mills getting a rousing round of applause. So to finish off the innings then, Henry Crocombe bowling to Dudgeon, swings and misses here. That might have hit him in the hip, I think, as he tried to pull that one away extravagantly into the onside. Didn't get anything on it. So Matt Milnes will face Mad Dog, as they call him.
Oh, do they?
They do indeed.
Is there a reason for that?
Well,
because he's mad.
I think he's a fast bowler, but I think it might be slightly ironic because he's such a quietly spoken man off the pitch. Or maybe it's the contrast between the two. Crocombe to Milnes, slow ball bouncer. Dudley's rung them up. It done really well to run that one because Milnes has missed that. It's a bye. The slower ball bouncer, really well disguised from Crocombe because Milnes was through the shot early, but found himself more or less being able to have a chat with Keith Dudgeon face to face as he was backing up for the bye. So 124 for 8. That'll go in the column of they all count, I think. So one more to the total. Crocombe to Dudgeon, helps this one down towards the boundary. Oh, it's going to be 4, is it? Or has it gone over the rope?
I think I got for 6. No,
it's 4. 2 fielders converging on it. Once again, with a previous bounce as well. Dudgeon looked like he's taken his eye off it. He may have done. He got back to it, flashing style, hooks it away, and that's 4. 128 for 8.
Well,
I'm not sure how much judgment there was. He seemed to middle it though.
He did,
to be honest.
No, he did.
So
this is a useful little cameo at the end.
Fair play to him.
We said could get themselves around 130, 135.
Yeah.
They might just feel they've got, who knows.
3 balls to come then. Legitimate deliveries. Crocombe 2. Dudgeon swing and a miss. Way down the pitch, trying to club that into Surrey, I think.
That was quick, wasn't it, from Henry Crocombe?
Yeah. So he's put pace back on the ball. Good bounce. Good carry. Yeah.
Big difference here for Sussex tonight in terms of the extras. 8 wides they bowled on Friday night against Leicestershire. Today, much better control.
Kept it very tight indeed. So Crocombe to Dudgeon. Connects this time. Will it be caught? No, it's over Mills's head at mid-off. Flat bats it for 4 over the Sussex Sharks captain. And how important these runs are. Well, as I said, it's given Keith Dudgeon and the rest of the Kent bowling lineup something to aim at. 132 for 8 with the balls flying at the end, getting them to something, vaguely respectable. It doesn't look that easy to get in on this pitch to me, Adrian Harms. It'll be a challenge, but I would still make Sussex quite firm favourites, given the fact they know exactly what they need to do now.
Yes, I would agree with you. I think any T20 game where you're chasing 134, I think you'd back yourself to do those. The 2 caveats around that are, Matt, that you're quite right. It hasn't looked easy to bat on. I think all of the Kent batters really struggled this afternoon. The other caveat being the Sussex batting has been incredibly unreliable in this competition so far. They've got off to good starts and then rather thrown those good starts away, and I'm sure that'll be on the players' minds. And Kent might feel if they nip out a couple of early wickets that the nerves set in. It's a relatively low target, so
Ben, thank you very much. Yes, and by dint of that, as you would expect as listeners, I'm sure, listen to any T20 cricket, Sussex very much favourites to win this one, albeit on a difficult pitch. They bowled very, very well first up against Kent, who made just 33 for 3 in the power play. They were 35 for 4 in 7 overs. It's been Sean Hunt's day so far. I think it's fair to say Sussex, he will be very happy if he doesn't have to bat, Adrian Harms, but if he does, we're expecting all sorts of miracles from him, because he's taken 3 wickets and 3 catches on just his second T20 blast match.
He has. In fact, he won the Moment of the Year last year for Sussex, Sean Hunt. He'd barely played. He came in a 50-over game against Lancashire and hit the ball down the ground to win the match. So, anyway, but yeah, if he bats, Sussex are in trouble.
It's going to be Keith Dudgeon to take the ball first for Kent. He's going to bowl to Ward. Where are we? Just getting my scorecards.
Yes, Harrison Ward. Yeah,
Harrison Ward's. That's it. Yeah, indeed. With Dan Hughes at the non-strikers, then Dudgeon from the CN, then to Ward, who just steers it to Matt Milnes at a shortish mid-wicket. Sam Billings actually has to reach to take that. Milnes perhaps just testing his wicket-keeper captain to make sure he's limber. He's certainly done that. Backward point, Zach Crawley, I believe, and then deep square leg is Harry Finch are the boundary fielders. Can have a slip and a gully in as well as Dudgeon bowls. Oh, it's a big shout. First up, he's gone. He's gone already. Second ball of the Sussex innings, and Kent has struck. A roar from Keith Dudgeon. Certainly very convinced. All the Kent fielders went up at the same time, and Harrison Ward has gone second ball. And goodness me, well, we said this pitch was a little bit lively, and Kent would need to bowl very well. They've started well at least off the second ball of the innings. Sussex Sharks are 0 for 1, chasing 134 to win. At least for Kent, it's a decent start.
Well, I think I did say there was a caveat at the end of the innings to Sussex winning. A, we didn't know what the pitch was going to do, and B, the Sussex batting has been unreliable in the extreme during the competition. Harrison Ward has actually been in good form in the 2 games that he's played. Made a very good 69. That was his highest T20 score here on Friday, and 40 down at the Gears Bowl. But the last thing Sussex wanted was to lose a wicket in the first over. What they have got is some experience coming in. John Simpson coming in at number 3. I think I said this game is far from over.
Yeah, absolute big hitter, John Simpson, as well, but players have found that difficult today. There's no doubt about that. The left-hander comes in. Dudgeon having taken a wicket with just the second ball of the Sussex Sharks innings. He bowls again to Simpson down the leg side. It's a wide. So didn't see any of those, did we, from Sussex? Was there?
I think we saw
was
one.
it just one?
Yes, I think it was just. Let me just double check. I think it was just the one.
So
wide, which was a big improvement on Friday evening. Yeah, just the one wide. And 3 leg byes.
There we go. Yeah, just holds his head, does Keith Dudgeon. I think maybe the ball is moving. It's just moving a bit too far. I didn't get that under control. Bowls then to Simpson, who pushes that into the offside. Crikey, 2 Kent fielders leaping on it. Clarkson and Denley are there like their lives depended on it.
Yeah, you just get the impression with the Kent boys here that they're thinking, 135 may not be that. 134 isn't that easy,
I think after that early wicket as well, you can see almost the adrenaline running through, and they want to give, as much as anything else, Sussex the impression that this is an impossible task, that they're all over everything. But Dudgeon to Simpson, bat and pad into the offside, and there's a shout from the wicket keeper, and well, this is a lively pitch, I think it's fair to say.
We've already seen a double wicket made in this match. We might see a wicket. Oh, there was a wide there, wasn't there? So
there was. Actually, it didn't look far. I think it must have hit the bat first, because that did not look far away. Yeah, I think it must have hit the bat. So Dudgeon then to Simpson, just jabs that into the onside, and there's no run. And as you say, it won't be a maiden. This one for Keith Dudgeon, because he is straight down the leg side, but otherwise he's been very much on the money. 1 for 1, Sussex Sharks then. But a long way to go in T20 terms here, of course. But Kent have done what they really needed to do, is to put some pressure at least on the Sharks to start with here. As Dudgeon bowls to Simpson and angles that into the offside, fielded by Denley, and it's just that wide to go on the board. Sussex Sharks 1 for 1 then off 1. The total to reach 134 for the Sharks. I'd say even after that first over, it still is in their hands here, Sussex Sharks, but can at least giving themselves some hope in the first over.
Well, at the end of the opening over for in the Kent innings, Kent were 5 without loss.
So they're way ahead.
So you'd have to say Kent. and the other thing I would say is that Sussex have very much loaded their side with bowling really today. So I mean, Danny Briggs batting at 8, the 8, 9, 10, 11 are Briggs, Croker, Mills, Hunt. Now I'm not saying those guys can't bat, but there's a big responsibility on the top 7 here for Sussex today. And a big responsibility on this man, Daniel Hughes, the overseas, the Australian, and he's going to be facing Matt Milnes, who's charging in from the Cromwell Road end. Bowls to Hughes, who's forward and plays defensively down the onside of the track, and there is no run. Milnes fields off his own bowling, and there is no run. Sam Billings is a great sort of organiser of his field, and he's always sort of shifting players just a yard here and a yard there. Look, there he goes again.
Yeah, never mind solar or wind power. I think you generate quite a lot of electricity, I think, just off Sam Billings, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a slip in place. Milnes is in, bowls to Hughes, who drives sweetly to mid-off. He can't find the fielder at mid-off, though. It's another dot ball, so 8 balls gone, and Sussex yet to score a run off the bat.
What I would say, though, is what Dan Hughes has done here off the first 2 balls is he's having a really good look.
Yes, he is.
And because it's a low total, that they have the ability, they have the grace to do that in a way in these first few overs, is just have a really good look at the pitch, get themselves in if they can.
I think that's a good point. Milnes, Sun has gone in, bowls, and Hughes drives down the ground. The first run off the bat, fielded at mid-off. And it's just a single. Is that Joe Denley?
I think it's Lintop there, I believe.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to go for a third. I think that's actually Chris Benjamin. I beg your pardon. I just saw the 2 on the shirt.
They're a long way away from us. That's our excuse. 2 for 1. So the first runs off the bat go to Daniel Hughes. The run rate required for Sussex is 7.1. So we'll just keep an eye on that. I mean, that shouldn't really be an issue. It's you sort of feel if Sussex can bat their 20 overs here, you feel almost Kent have got to bowl Sussex out, but you never know. As Milnes is in again, bowls, and Simpson clips that one away. He's going to pick up a boundary, is John Simpson. I'm not entirely sure he intended it to go there, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think he was looking to play that one away through square leg, and that's the reason that Matt Milnes has got his head, hands on his head. It's ended up coming down to wideish fine leg. It's a boundary, and the Sharks will take that.
Yeah,
but it wasn't overly convincing.
He's picked it from outside off stump there, hasn't he? And you can usually tell what.
42, but Keith Dudgeon with a bludgeoned 29 in just 19 balls at the end could be very important runs for the Spitfires. As Milnes in again, bowls, Hughes using his feet down the wicket, driving but not timing, 2 short extra cover, and there is no run. So the end of the second over, the Sussex Sharks are 7 for 1 with Simpson on 5, Hughes on 1. At the same stage, Kent were 13 without loss.
Yeah, really neat single taken within that from John Simpson. I wonder if that's the way to go for Sussex Sharks. Again, it's really well placed, not very far away from the strip, and a quick single taken. They can keep the scoreboard ticking over. As you were saying, Adrian, they're not losing wickets. This it'll be a walk in the park, but this might be the way for them. Dudgeon then, who took the wicket in the second ball of the Sussex innings to continue. Bowls to Simpson, long handle, it's past Lintop, that'll be 4 runs. He comes down the pitch and almost swats it up through long on, and that's 4 runs. I'm not sure he timed it,
no,
but it's 4 nonetheless, and it's 4 runs cannot be giving away. Boundary.
Yeah. I mean, the important thing for Sussex here is the losing of the wickets, as I say, with this relatively long tail today. So there was an element of risk with this shot, I felt.
Yeah, didn't quite, certainly carried the fielder anyway with the power. He doesn't entirely middle it. Dudgeon 2, Simpson. This could be
Shot.
4 through the offside. It is indeed. That's much better. And driven through extra cover. Klaassen has no time even to dip down to his right at mid-off rather, to cut that one off. It's consecutive 4s to start the Dudgeon over. And this is a great start from John Simpson. He moves on to 13 already.
Yeah, that was a good shot. A much more convincing shot from John Simpson, who made a very good start to the competition, making 60 odd at Chelmsford, but hasn't really troubled the scorers too much since then.
Daniel Bell-Drummond is the boundary rider on the offside now, pushed round. This one tucks up Simpson for room. He looks frustrated as he chops it into the offside, and there's no run. 15 for 1 then. So the Sharks supporters will no doubt be very happy with what they've seen with the ball, with the bat. Things looking a little bit more challenging, but it's a low total. A low looking total anyway. Here's Dudgeon to Simpson. Oh, swing and a miss, that one. He's got to pull that one away. It's not really gone up very far either. And it's gone close to the body. It's a decent ball from Dudgeon, that one, through to wicket-keeper Billings. He's missed it. But from a Sussex point of view, the good news is he has missed it. It's gone through. Yeah, it's just a dot ball.
Great looking shot, was it, in all honesty?
No. He's looking to get on with it, perhaps thinking, well, certainly Simpson, he can be mighty destructive if he is. This could be over in a flash, and that one will go for 6, will it? It's certainly going to go for 4. One bounce, Harry Finch on the onside boundary, not getting close to that one before it pitches. He gets around across the ground pretty fast, but that will go for 4. And it's already 12 off the over. And Kent can ill afford, and Sussex will be very pleased that John Simpson here is swinging for the fences early.
Yeah, that was a good shot.
So Dudgeon once again, 75 on his dark blue Spitfire shirt, driven up to mid-on. Klaassen, will he shine at the stumps? He won't. Simpson again, really well judged run. 20 for 1 then off 3. It's a 13 off the over, which Kent didn't manage in their power play. They were pegged back again and again by 3 times by Sean Hunt and once by Tamar Mills. Or actually within the power play, if I'm going to be pedantic with myself, twice by Hunt, once by Mills, but still.
Yeah, 13 for 2 Kent were at the end of the third. In terms of John Simpson, he made 63 at Chelmsford, then 7 in the game at Canterbury against Kent, followed by 7 against Middlesex, 19 down at Southampton on Tuesday night, and then here against Leicestershire on Friday evening. Just looking at my notes, he made 12, so he'll be keen to make a contribution. He's on strike, he's 18 not out, 20 for 1. As in comes Fred Klaassen down the hill, bowls to Simpson, who squirts this to backward point. And there is no run, fielded there by Chris Benjamin. I always think Fred Klaassen bowls well against Sussex. 3 men saving 1 on the offside.
He's a canny operator in T20 Blast, or almost only plays this format now.
Klaassen in bowls to Simpson, who clips that one off the hip through square leg and picks up a single, does John Simpson. He goes to 19. Sussex 21 for 1. Daniel Hughes on 1. And the man out, Harrison Ward, who was LBW to the second ball of the innings to Keith Dudgeon.
Actually went for 51 against Sussex in the match at...
Did he? Good stat.
Yeah, just 151.
Yes, he perhaps got Tom Clark's a little bit.
Yeah,
because
that's true, he's bowled up top, yeah. And Clark was gunning the Kent bowlers at that point.
In comes Klaassen bowls, and Daniel Hughes picks up a single, just plays that away through square leg. Slight misfield actually, but it doesn't cost a run. Field out there at square leg, so Hughes goes to 2, the total to 22 for 1. Sam Billings again behind the stumps, busily sort of arranging the field, moving fielders a yard here, a yard there. The 2 fielders are now back on the leg side, the 2 fielders outside of the 30-yard circle. 5 men saving 1 on the offside, 2 on the leg as Clarkson is in bowls. Hammered down the ground by John Simpson, 4 runs. It's a good shot by Simpson.
Yeah, and for once, Sam Billings, that's kept the Kent captain quiet. Bit of body language from the Sussex Sharks. That was an emphatic shot from John Simpson. And Kent haven't found a way through him yet. And he's causing damage. 23 from 15, 26 for 1 the Sharks. 134 needed to win.
Clarkson in again, bowl. Simpson hammers this one away. That could have gone for 4 more. Has gone for 4 more. Over pitch by Fred Clarkson, and John Simpson just belted the ball over mid-on for 4 runs. A couple of bounces and the ball goes over the ropes. So the Sharks, despite losing Harrison Ward in the opening over, are off to a good start. 30 for 1, John Simpson on 27. Daniel Hughes on 2, but no one will be, I've said before today, no one will be counting chickens, because Sussex have shown an ability, I should say, for them to implode, having had good starts. They'll be hoping today that won't be the case, as Clarkson is in. Final ball of the over. Bowls to Simpson, clipped away, rather got away with that, Fred Clarkson actually, footed by Milnes, who fields really well at short fine leg, shies at the stumps, knocks the stumps over, but it was a short delivery, and Simpson will rather feel he missed out there. Nonetheless, 10 off the over. Sussex will be satisfied with that. At the end of the 4th over, Sussex are 30 for 1 for comparison purposes. By the same stage, Kent were 20 for 3.
Yeah, they're way ahead here. The DLS as well has them quite a long way ahead. I think 25 they'll need by the end of this over to be level, so they're already ahead by all metrics at the moment. Milnes is going to change ends. He'll bowl here from the C end. Just put his marker down after Dudgeon. A bit of tap, didn't he? 13 off his second over. Milnes went for just 6 off his first. But if anything, they need less than that. Well, they need wickets here. Kent, Sussex, at the moment sitting pretty. Hughes faces, comes down the pitch. Oh, he didn't mean that, but it's gone for 4. Thickish outside edge. He's played that more or less straight, but it's scooted past Grant Stewart, a backward point, and that will go for 4 runs. And well, that's T20 cricket.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
It's kept it down, and that's with the field in for the power play, and it's 4 runs. And at the moment, Sussex making this look fairly straightforward.
100 to win.
Yeah, required rate. Down to 6.3, and this is driven up to mid-on. Clarkson fields, there's no run. So he hurls that to Sam Billings behind the stumps. So dot ball, but nothing like the pressure that Sussex put on and Sean Hunt put Kent in, particularly at the top of the order so far. Sam Bill's shouting there. I'm not quite sure what the Kent captain was trying to convey. Milnes to Hughes, tucks it into the onside. Little wristy flick, fielded by Harry Finch. It's gone for a full shave. As the cap comes off, you can see that. It's gone 35 for 1 then. 3 balls to come of this 5th over. Many other games you would say Kent are doing really well here with the ball, but in the context of this one,
yes,
you'd think they need at least a wicket in the power play to slow things down, if not 2. As Milnes bowls to Simpson. Simpson goes to this, it's up in the air, it's skewed away, it'll be safe though. In between Clarkson and Joe Denley, who fields the ball, they'll take 2. Again, risk reward, clears the infield, only Denley, boundary riding on the offside, and doesn't reach him, so they come back for 2. 7 off the over already. That'll do nicely. That's all they need.
Well, it seems as if they've decided that John Simpson's the man who's got to attack the bowling here.
Yeah, it's done well so far. 29 off 18. And the back's away, leg side, cuts, that'll be 4 runs. It flies past Benjamin, dives vainly at it at point. And that goes for 4 very quickly indeed. 41 for 1. And already Kent with a lot of thinking to do. This was already going to be a tricky equation for them to get out of this one with a win. At the moment, Sussex are roaring ahead in the power play. 41 for 1. Simpson on to 33 of those from 19. Could this be already the winning knock for Sussex? This one's just punched past Milnes. It's fielded by Lintott at mid-on. End of the over. It is indeed 41 for 1, 11 off it. And that's twice, more or less twice, what Sussex need in the remaining overs of a run rate. So 41 for 1. Simpson going great guns here, just as Sean Hunt did with the ball for Sussex Sharks. Looking for just their second win, but they should be feeling fairly confident at this point.
Yes, as Matt says, Sussex have had lost 4 consecutive games, and I think really to have any chance of qualification they really do need to win tonight, and even then you'd feel Sussex would need to win probably 5 of their last 6 games, but at least they might give themselves, going into the break for the T20 with these 2 championship matches coming up, just some hope. But there's still work to be done. This is far from done, as Keith Dudgeon is going to come in from the Cromwell Road end following the fine over power play. Bowls to Daniel Hughes, who skips down the wicket, attempting to drive, and is beaten outside the off. Well, he's practicing a shot as if he was going to clip that one through mid-wicket, Daniel Hughes. Whatever shot he was going to play, it didn't come off, and it's a dot ball. And Sussex remain 41 for 1.
Yeah, gave it the flamingo there, didn't they? If he'd contacted, that would look mighty flamboyant.
Yes. Dudgeon wheels around at the far end. He picked up the wicket of Harrison Ward. He's in again. Bowls to Hughes. That's wide outside the off stump, and it's signalled a wide by umpire Long. It took a little while to decide.
Yeah, puff of the cheeks there from Sam Billings.
Yeah. Are you sure about that, umpire?
Well, I think it may be more the situation they're in, but yeah, no. So I wasn't at all inferring that wasn't the right.
No,
just
no, totally.
He's as I said, he likes to generate momentum at the moment. Kent are going to have to do that with wickets because Sussex are streaking ahead.
Dudgeon again, bowls to Hughes, who throughout the game it's been difficult for players to time, with the exception of John Simpson probably, and Hughes looking to drive that one away. He's got an inside edge and the ball has ended up at square leg, and it's just a single. Hughes goes to 8 off 10 deliveries, but so far it's all been about John Simpson. He's 33 not out of 20 deliveries, and he's certainly been the man who has been nominated or has decided himself that he's going to take the attack to Kent. Sussex needing to score at 6.2 and over. Sam Billings again reorganises the field. He's moving his leg side fielder from backward of square on the boundary to almost square leg on the boundary. As Dudgeon is in again. Bowls to Simpson wide outside the off stump. But umpire Long on this occasion decided that wasn't a wide. That looked quite similar to the last one, actually.
He's certainly testing the umpire's results there with that one.
Yes.
If I may be so euphemistic.
I think actually John Simpson did step away slightly to the leg side, which perhaps made it look more of a potential wide than it might otherwise have been.
It's part of the only, I suppose, the only part of the armoury that some bowlers have, isn't it? Or the bowlers have on many occasions.
Yes.
To try and...
Dudgeon in bowl. Simpson pulls straight to mid-on and he's caught, and the wicket's gone down. John Simpson just waiting to make sure the catch was taken cleanly. The catch was taken cleanly, and John Simpson goes. The catch taken there by Grant Stewart. Thank you, Matt. So Simpson's innings comes to an end, and there's a sort of a slight groan around Hove, because those who have been at Sussex's matches this season will know that one wicket has often led to 2 or 3, but Simpson has perhaps done his job at the top of the order. He's got Sussex off to a good start. 33 of 22 balls with 7 fours. I think fair to say again, an illustration there that it's quite difficult to time the ball on this pitch.
Yeah, and actually the ball was dying on Grant Stewart.
It was.
As you said, it looked like a nailed-on catch. It was going towards him, and suddenly had to get the elbows groundwards and hands underneath it. Talking about decent jobs, that 33 from John Simpson though, of their 43 for 2 now, that was indeed a big knock. It could be, as I said, in context a very important one as well. But Dudgeon has both wickets to fall so far.
No, the new man in is Jack Leaning, who has been desperately short of runs in this competition this season, and will be very, very keen to make an impression here tonight. This afternoon, I should say. Dudgeon makes his way in. Bowls to leading. That's hits the pad. There's a loud appeal, but it's hit the pad. The ball's going to run away for 4 runs. Well, Sussex will settle for that. 4 leg byes, but they all count, and I'm sure Jack Leaning mightily relieved that the umpire's finger didn't go up. In fact, he made, in fairness to Jack Leaning, he made 30 down at Canterbury in that defeat. 14 here against Middlesex. Just 2 down at Southampton on Tuesday night, and here on Friday against Leicestershire he made just 2, so he'll be keen to make a contribution here. There's Dudgeon in and bowls, and Leaning defends down the track. Dudgeon fields off his own bowling. Good over from Keith Dudgeon, picked up a wicket. The over itself went for 6 runs, but bear in mind 4 of those were leg byes. The Sharks are 47 for 2 at the end of the power play. At the same stage, Kent were 33 for 3.
Yeah, the Duckwood Lewis at 43 is at the moment, so it shows they're still ahead even with the loss of the second wicket, and just over 6 they need from the remaining 14 now with the field out, which in some ways you'd think, well, this is better for Kent to be able to defend it, but I just wonder if as the field opens up, the 1s and 2s might be a little bit easier for Sussex to take. Jake Lintop will be mighty important here, the left arm wrist spinner. Not many of those about, you say, and that's absolutely the truth, but bowls ones that go both ways, and had a great game against Sussex, taking 3 for 19 at the Oval. They need him here. It's a full toss, and it's straight at Denley, and Hughes may well think, goodness me, I should have done better with that. But yeah, it's fairly deep in the crease, but Denley fields, and Lintop gets away with that first one.
Good bit of fielding that, because that should have been 4 runs.
Absolutely. So Lintop, and hits him on the pad, big appeal. They'll take a single, a leg by. Didn't get up very much, did it? It was looked like it bounced fairly low. But Lintop is a fascinating cricketer. Certainly the left arm wrist spinner is not one you come across very often, and genuinely turns the ball both ways. No idea. Obviously, batters having no idea which way it's going to turn, as they watch very closely indeed. Leaning yet to score. Lintop bowls to him. It's driven on the ground to Joe Denley, and there's no run. So just a leg by off 3 balls so far. Lintop just spins the ball from left hand to right now. Over the wicket comes a left arm spinner to Leaning outside the off stump. It's been clubbed into the offside. Will it be stopped by the field? It won't. It's going to go for 4 runs. Again, I'd say Harry Finch is so quick across the ground, but given little chance by that one from Jack Leaning. Not even diveable range when it got to the boundary. 4 for the former Kent man, beating the former Sussex man. There we go.
Yeah, that was too wide, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was almost a free hit for Leaning.
Yeah, it spun in towards the right-hander, but by then, as you say, too wide. And again, it's just held in the pitch a little bit and driven into the offside. Finch comes round to field, fizzed in. They'll come back for an easy 2. So 7 off the over in total, 6 off the bat, 54 for 2. And so I would say again, they've got more than they need from this over already. Kent need wickets. Just 2 down so far as Leaning faces. Full toss, is it? It is, by Lintop. It dips towards the batter, but he's driven that into the onside. Takes a single. 8 off the over. 55 for 2. At the moment, Sussex looking like they're cruising towards victory. Kent, well, this was their worst over of the match. The 7th it may well be. They were 35 for 4. So Sussex by that measure 20 runs ahead and 2 wickets in advantage as well. It is very much, you think, in their arc to win this one, but a couple of wickets, who knows?
Well, certainly, and I think that'll be the concern for Sussex. They might be giving shirts away or something at the far end of the ground. Lots of people standing up for some reason.
I did see somebody just couple of overs ago obviously had a new Sussex shirt. Maybe that's it.
Joe Denley, as
Yeah.
Matt says, into the attack, comes in and bowls to Jack Leaning, and Leaning plays all around that. He's got a very fortunate single. Let's wait for the umpire's signal. Was that a leg by, or did he get a bit of bat on that? Well, he got a bit of bat on it.
Yeah, this
Jack Leaning, he goes to 8.
Sorry, so there's a commentator's curse if ever you needed it for Sussex Sharks to see Denley disappear into the boundary, but they bowled very tightly indeed so far. But Sussex may have something to say about that.
I think it's very important for Sussex in this run chase that Daniel Hughes stays there. Just the experienced man, even if he finishes 30 or 40 not out, doesn't matter. Denley in bowls to Hughes, who just plays that sensibly and calmly. Down to long off, picks up a single. 57 4-2. Hughes goes to 9. Just a calm head out in the middle is what Sussex need. Denley bowls, Leaning, plays forward down the offside. Joe Denley, it's a dot ball, nice and tidy from Denley so far. Just the 2 runs coming off of the over. Leaning does a little boundary. One more to around the ground. Sussex, you'd feel have got the advantage here, but as Matt says, a couple of wickets can change everything very quickly. 58 for 2. Denley again bowls to Hughes, who cuts away, picks up another single to the sweeper on the cover boundary. So 4 singles off the over. And realistically, this is all Sussex need to do, because they need to score a 6.2 and over. They picked up 4 so far. As Denley in bowls, and Leaning again just eases the ball down the ground too long on, picks up a single, so 5 off the over. Hughes on 10, Leaning on 10, Sussex 60 for 2 at the end of the 8th, just for comparison, but it's not really a true comparison, because at this stage Kent were in trouble. Kent were 39 for 4, then they began to recover through Chris Benjamin and Joe Denley.
I'll talk about the economy of these pair, Denley and Lintott, and particularly, you'd say, with Denley, to take wickets, they need to be attacking him, I think, really. As good as a T20 bowler he is, obviously it's a big advantage if they come at you as a spin bowler, as Lintott continues. Couple of other games involving our sides I'll tell you about in just a second if I get a moment. Lintott to Leaning, it's just outside the off stump. Leaning's gone down on one knee almost to cut that one away. It's gone straight into the wicket-keeper's gloves. No great fanfare from either Lintott or Denley, or Billings rather, behind the stumps, but it is a dot ball. A minor victory. Sussex are winning the war here, just outside the off stump again, and it's cut away. And Leaning will look for 2. They'll look for 2. Always a misfield. That's a rarity for Harry Finch, and it allows the second. And Lintott gives a long, cold look over his shoulder towards Harry Finch. Not happy with that.
No, I think that's what comes of putting fielders under pressure, because Leaning was looking for 2 right from the off. He ran the first run very quickly.
Yeah, it's a really good point, that, Adrian. He was on his toes looking for the second. Lintott goes outside the off stump again, and yeah, Leaning is finding those quite easy to farm at the moment. So, the single, 3 off the over. 63 for 2. At the moment, South Africa A, by the way, are making short work of James Coles's, Ben Dawkins's, Ekansh Singh's, England lines, if you like. Those 3 players, 2 from Kent, 1 from Sussex playing there. As Lintott bowls, driven by Hughes, it'll be picked up on the boundary by Matt Mills, and it'll just come through for 1. So 64 for 2 here. England lines making 198. Coles went for a duck, unfortunately for him. Dawkins 13, Ekansh Singh 27. But South Africa A at the moment are 133 for none.
Wow.
So Pretorius and Herman going there. I think they're going to win that one in short order. Cut away by Leaning, hoping he can do the same for Sussex here. As they take one more. 65 for 2.
That's Josh Herman, I think, was playing some cricket at Somerset earlier on this season.
Ruben Herman, actually,
okay.
yeah. It's wicket-keeper batter.
Right.
But, sorry, beg your pardon, just giving Luandre Pretorius is opening with him, who has 92 at the moment. This is Lintott to Hughes
That kept a little low.
it did, and Hughes has studiously played it. It's almost a short leg there for a dot ball. End of the over. It's 65 for 2, so just 5 off the over. But again, Sussex don't need to worry about at the moment. 5 off the preceding 2 overs, but then 8 the one before that. So they're up with the run rate. Have wickets in hand here, doing well. I'd just say, for Kent fans who might be feeling a bit down in the dumps here, Kent women bowled really well against Glamorgan women, had them 91 for 8 in their T20 match in League 2. Kent women 62 for 1 off 12, chasing 92 to win, going well. Coco Street has just got out, but Amy Gordon is there on 28. Here, Sussex Sharks are ruling the roost against the Kent Spitfires, hoping to pay them back for a defeat at the St Lawrence ground at the moment. Favourites to do so.
Grant Stewart into the attack, bowls to Jack Leading. Leading plays it down the offside of the track. Stewart, who's a big man, gets down very quickly and fields off his own bowling. Good bit of fielding. Sam Billings again reorganising the field. He's constantly sort of directing players to go a little way one way or the other. He's taking his cap off, actually. I don't think I've ever seen Sam Billings without a cap. But he hasn't got a cap on at the moment as Stewart is in bowls. Leading thumps this one out. That's going to be 4 runs. But too much whip there from Grant Stewart, and Jack Leading hammering the ball away through backward point for 4 runs. So that just leaves a bit of pressure for Sussex. You know, you get a 4 this early in the over when the run rate is only just over 6 and over. That certainly helps. Leading goes to 18, making a contribution, Jack Leading, tonight. Or this afternoon, I should say.
Yeah, a bit loose from Stewart, but Leading's on it, quick as a flash.
It was. Stewart again, bowls to Leading, who clips this one through mid-wicket. There could be 2 here, actually, because the field has got a long way to come in from long on, but eventually Sussex just settled for the single. Leading to 19, 70 for 2. Sussex needing 134 to win. They need to score at 6.1 and over. They've got 8 wickets in hand. I mean, that sounds, in T20 terms, like that ought to be more than doable, but we've just seen Sussex not capitalise on good starts throughout the competition this season. So in comes Stewart, bowls to Hughes, who plays a lofted extra cover drive. That's a lovely shot by Daniel Hughes. Yeah. It's beautifully timed, actually. Didn't belt the ball away. He'd spotted there was a gap there over extra cover, and it was a deliberately lofted drive by Hughes. Nicely played, and he's very key for Sussex in this run chase. Just needs to make sure that he's there at the end. Does the Australian, but that's a nice shot, and a couple of boundaries off the opening 3 balls from Grant Stewart.
Yeah, picked the slower ball as well, Daniel Hughes, didn't he, there, and just looked really comfortable. Lovely fluid drive through it, 4 runs.
He goes to 15, 74 for 2. Stewart in bowls to Hughes, who next ball just picks up a single down to long off, so a profitable over for Sussex. 10 off the over so far. That brings Jack Leading on strike, 75 for 2. Hush around Hove. Good crowd in at Hove this afternoon, which is good to see after Sussex have had a couple of poor home performances. The crowd have stayed with them, which is good to see as Stewart is in bowls to Leading, who is going to pick up, I think, a leg by. Let's wait for the umpire's signal. Yes, indeed, it was a leg by. Jack Leading sort of advanced down the wicket, and the ball struck the pad or the thigh pad, dribbles down the leg side. So good over that for Sussex. 11 coming off of it at the end of the 10th over, so we're halfway through here. Sussex are 70, was that 11 off the over?
Indeed, yes, yeah.
76 for 2. At the same stage, Kent were 51 for 4.
Yeah, Kent need wickets here, there's no doubt about that now, and Sussex, you say, more than halfway there, Adrian, and who looks the most likely? It's hard to say it. Regular Kent wickets, which kept the runs down as well. So they turn to Lintott then from the C end to bowl his 3rd over outside the off stump as well. Oh. That's a great stop from Daniel Pell-Drummond. 1 bounce in the covers.
Very good.
Gets applause from everybody. Chris Benjamin particularly at point admiring that leap to his right. 1 hand, 1 bounce, he stopped it. That's Leading faces again. This one's on the stumps, but Leading equal to it, turns it back with a square, fielded by Grant Stewart, and I'll take 1 off that ball. So yeah, Kent at this point need 2 or 3 wickets in a flurry, I'd say, to make a game of this. 77 for 2. Sussex Sharks. Lintott to Hughes, drives it. On the inside part of the bat, they're going to come back for 2. They're not. Crawley bowls it back in. And they'll just take 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's a runner ball here for Sussex, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. 5.9 something. So, yeah, it is indeed. 78 for 2. Lintott then to leaning straight back at the bowler. It's a good stop from Lintott. That'll be a palm stinger.
Yes, definitely.
It's driven back at him by Jack Leaning, but a dot ball. They need a quiet one here, Kent. Sussex Sharks, no, get a boundary here, and everything is absolutely fine. And driven up to long on by Jack Leaning, just inclines his head to the side, perhaps a bit disappointed he couldn't put that to either side of Fred Clarkson. So dot ball, 1 to come.
Wasn't far away from carrying to Clarkson.
No, it's he's looking to get on with it here, Leaning. 20 from 22 as Lintott bowls him, gives him some air straight back at the bowler. Will they run this one? They will. Clarkson will shy at the stumps, misses, and they do get 1. But well, a victory of sorts for Kent. That's the quietest over they've had from a batting point of view since the very first. Just 3 off the one from Lintott. 79 for 2. Still no real worries for Sussex. Kent need more of those. They need wickets as well to put pressure on as Denley chats to Billings at the far end. 79 for 2 Sharks at the 11 over stage. They need 134 in total. So yeah, just above 6 and over, just around about 6 really. Runnable.
Well, I think Joe Denley was getting ready to bowl the next over, but then Sam Billings called up Matt Milnes, who was fielding down on the boundary edge, so clearly a change of direction there for Kent.
That's interesting, yeah.
So Milnes, who has bowled 2 overs, no wicket for 17, back into the attack. I mean, you know, from here, Sussex will kick themselves if they don't win this match.
Absolutely,
you know, you've got these 2 experienced players out of the middle. You know, these are the sort of games where Paul Farbrace has been talking about people taking responsibility, putting their hand up and seeing the side home to win.
Yeah, needs wickets here. Billings turning to one of his death bowlers already.
Milnes in, bowls to Leaning, and straight away that's a poor shot. So he's clipped that ball straight to mid-wicket. I mean, you've got to give credit there to Sam Billings, because I'm pretty certain Joe Denley was going to bowl that over. And they've changed it around. Milnes has come on, and Leaning has clipped the ball straight to mid-wicket. Just as I was saying, it's the sort of taken by Keith Dudgeon. Thank you, Matt. Good catch, actually. It was low down to his right-hand side. But just as I was saying there, that's been the problem with Sussex in this competition. And Paul Farbrace has spoken a lot about players taking responsibility, weighing up the situation. And you know, Sussex still in a very good position in this game. But Jack Leaning, I think he'll be disappointed with that. He's out for 21. And he just opens the door a little for Kent. You know, there will be, there'll be players in the Sussex dressing room thinking, "Oh, come on, can't let this one get away from us." But importantly, Daniel Hughes is still there.
Yeah, they should still do this comfortably.
They should,
as you said. With that's can put strange things in the mind, can't it? But as I said, Sam Billings effectively turning to one of his death bowlers here. I suppose you might argue Clarkson bowled the death, but Milnes certainly is looking for wickets for him. Takes one first ball, exactly what the captain wanted. And no more than that. 79 for 3.
Milnes into bowl to Ollie Carter, who's bowls, and Carter defends solidly down the offside of the track, and there is no run. I had Tom Alsop to come in next, but I wonder here whether Sussex have gone left-hander, right-hander.
Yeah, makes sense. Particularly with Lintott spinning the ball both ways, maybe they're thinking, can try and negate him.
But as I say, it is a longish Sussex tail today. That's out without being disrespectful to Briggs, Croker, Mills and Hunt, who are 8, 9, 10 and 11. Milnes runs towards us, bowls to Carter, who flicks this one down to fine leg, picks up a single Ollie Carter, so he's on his way. The total goes to 80 for 3. So Sussex needing 54 to win. 12 overs left after this one, 7 wickets in hand. I mean, that sounds in most games like a fairly comfortable equation, but we'll have to see how it pans out as Milnes rushes in again, bowls to Hughes, who plays into the offside. There's a misfield. Well, in the end, Carter got to get a move on. That was a sloppy piece of fielding. It was played out into the offside. It was... Who was it?
Yeah, it's Dudgeon out there.
Was it?
Yeah.
He'd taken a good catch earlier in the over, and they say never run on a misfield, and momentarily Ollie Carter was slightly heart in mouth, but in the end he got home comfortably. 81 for 3. 2 runs off the over so far. Milnes in, bowls to Carter, who pulls. That's going to go away for 4 runs, I think. No, it's not. It's well. Oh, it is. Well, I think he slipped. Was pulled away by Ollie Carter. I think that's Harry Finch out there.
Yeah.
Who chased round the boundary edge. He got there, but then seemed to lose his footing, and the ball dribbled over the rope. Just won't mind about that. I don't think Matt Milnes will be desperately pleased. Just when you've lost a wicket, that's just what Sussex needed. A 4 from Ollie Carter, so he goes to 5. Kent 85 for 3. Milnes in again, bowls. Carter drives. That's going to be 4 more. Over pitch by Matt Milnes, and Ollie Carter drove the ball handsomely away for extra cover for 4 runs. So what had started as not a great over for Sussex has ended up an okay over, because they've picked up 10 runs off the over. And at the end of the 12th, Sussex are 86 for 2. Sorry, 89 for 2.
3
for 3. I'll get it right in a minute. 89 for 3. Come on, Adrian.
They've gone for Milnes has gone for a slow ball there, hasn't he? But he's ended up, I think he's gone for the Yorker as well. He's gone for, as you say, over pitching and driven to the boundary. And yeah, I totally agree. What started as a very promising over from Kent, and they're right. Feels like they're right back where they started now here. And with Sussex way back on top. So Lintott has to be his 4th over. To be fair to him, he's gone for 5 and over off his 3. It's 15. Somebody's wanting a wicket from him here, and Hughes waits for that one, drives it. Well, the only man within sight, more or less, on the onside is Daniel Bell Drummond at mid-wicket, and can't beat him. Good field placement, you'd say that from the captain. 3 boundary fielders other than him on the leg sides. Lintott bowls to Hughes, goes for the sweep. He might pierce the field there, doesn't. It's a slip from Dudgeon in the outfield, but doesn't mean they can come back for more than 1.
I don't think there'll be too many games of T20 cricket where Daniel Hughes has been on 19, having opened in the 13th over.
He's only faced 22 deliveries at this point.
Yes.
Well. So yeah, as you say, he's anchoring there. In the context of this match, 19's not a bad score either, is it? So that would have made you 4th top scorer in Kent's innings, but as you said earlier, Adrian, he might just be anchoring his team through to a victory here. If he can stay in, obviously. Carter's on 9, outside the off-stump. It's kept really low from Lintott, and a flash of the bat from Carter. I'm not sure if that is the top spinner, but certainly it's grubbed a little bit. Carter's missed it outside the off stump. So Lintott. Carter once more goes for the sweep. Contact all on the ground. Will this be 4? No, it's fielded by Stewart. He's done well. They come back for 2 though. Well run.
Yes. Good cricket all round, that. Good bit of fielding, good bit of running.
Indeed so. On to 92 for 3. And the required rate under a run a ball here. And whereas it's not necessarily the kind of pitch you can just pat the ball around for a single ball. Gives them a real chance here. Thrashed away. Will that beat? No, it's not going to beat the fielder. Straight at Matt Milnes. I thought for a moment he'd beaten the fielder, but just 1 more to the total. So this over's gone for 4. So Lintott has bowled a really good spell, but even going at 5 and over in this game, not good enough for Kent with 134 to protect. Defended by Hughes. It's the last ball Lintott's spell. Great experience from Hughes really there. Why take that one on? Lintott's gone now. He hasn't taken a wicket. 93 for 3. No alarms or surprises in that over really for Sussex. Able to see off Kent's mystery spinner. And somehow for Kent they have to, the other 5 bowlers at their disposal now have to whittle through this this Sussex lineup. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. Sussex Sharks are within 41 now of victory with 7 overs to go.
Looks like Joe Denley is coming back into the attack from the Cromwell Road end to bowl to the right-handed Ollie Carter.
It is.
He's in and bowls. Carter makes room and hammers that one out to the cover boundary to Milnes, who fields in front of the clock tower scoreboard. It's just a single to Carter. He goes to 13. Sussex 94 for 3. They need to score at 5.8 and over. And Daniel Hughes very much the anchor for this Sussex innings. The experienced Australian. In comes Denley, bowls, and Hughes eases that down the ground. They've taken one now. They might think for 2 here. There's a good bit of fielding though down there at long off. Is that Crawley all the way down there?
It is Crawley, yeah.
Tall figure. Got round very quickly. Got in the throw, but Hughes picks up another single. He goes to 20 off 24. Sussex to 95 for 3. 39 needed to win. In comes Denley, bowls, and Carter looking to play that one away through the offside. Doesn't time it at all, and Denley fields off his own bowling. There is no run. Run rate sneaks up to 6 and over. With 7 wickets in hand, hush around the ground. Denley. There'll certainly be a couple of runs here for Sussex, fielded down below us by Jake Lintott. 2 more to Carter, who goes to 15 at 97 for 3.
Yeah, nicely picked that, wasn't it?
Yes.
More or less premeditated. He knows he's got wide open spaces behind Sam Billings there, so the contact gave him 2.
Denley in again, bowls, hit by Carter straight to Dendell Drummond, who fields at extra cover. There is no run. 1 more to go in the over. Just 4 runs coming off of it so far. Denley just reorganises his field on the leg side. He's brought his mid-wicket a little straighter. Billings is doing the organising from behind the stumps. Important ball this. As in comes Denley, bowls. Carter makes room, cuts it away, and he's going to get 4 runs. Well, he cut it away between 2 fielders. There was a fielder at backward point, a fielder at short third man. He couldn't have placed that any better if he'd tried, Ollie Carter, and the ball ran between the pair of them and has run away for 4 runs. And Sam Billings was furious, I think, with himself for changing the field. Nonetheless, it's a boundary to Ollie Carter, and Sussex will be mightily relieved for that. 101 for 3 are Sussex at the end of the 14th over. Carter goes to 19, Hughes on 20, so Sussex needing 33 to win in 6 overs. They need to score at 5.5 and over, and I think Sussex will kick themselves all the way home if they don't win from here.
Yeah, and back again, you think at this
Yes.
point. They're very much in their control now. Fred Clarkson brought back in, and not necessarily say Sean Hunt was the difference, but that opening spell made it really difficult for Kent to get going,
Yes.
didn't it? And as we were saying at half time, it gave Sussex the comparative luxury of being able to have a look at a few balls, relax into their innings. Daniel Hughes, even those 20 from 24 would normally be, you know, the captain would be breathing down your neck, just saying, "Yeah, you've got to get out now, mate. You've not made enough off your deliveries." But they enabled him to play gently. Carter at 19 from 12. Hughes just ticking along at the other end. Clarkson brought back in the attack, looking for a wicket here, and that's cut away. That'll be 4 runs. And Daniel Hughes, lovely shot. Got close to him, but enough width to cut away. And crowd at the far end, the Cromwell Road end, waving their placards with 4 written on very happily. Those Sussex Sharks supporters. 105 for 3. And just 29 to win now. Clarkson to Hughes. Rolls the wrists over this one. They get at least 1. So 106 for 3. Sharks with Carter 19. Hughes is 25 from 26 now.
Yes, I think he's just being a calming influence out there throughout this innings, Daniel Hughes, and just taking the time there to go down and say to Ollie Carter, come on, we haven't done it yet.
Just keeping concentrated. Clarkson aborts the run up. Goes back to his mark now. The Dutch left armour. Bowls to Carter. Digs that one in. It's come off the splicer. Singh. It's going to go safe, is it? It is. Oh! Between 2 fielders. Denley and Lintott coming together, but they are fine. They got very close to each other. But Carter is safe in the end. It was in the air an awful long time for a single. 107 for 3.
It's unfortunate to get away with that, really. The main thing was I thought the fielders were going to collide there.
Yeah, I think in the end maybe Denley just tripped over Lintot's foot, but 107 for 3. 27 to win, clipped off the pads, that one classes straight down the leg side. Will it be 4? It won't. It's going to be picked up by Dudgeon in the outfield, but they'll come back for a comfortable 2. And it's 8 off this over. And Sam Billings has run out of options to go to try and take this side a wicket now. And at the moment, it very much looks like a question of when for Sussex rather than if, and just how much good they might do to their net run rate as well, but more importantly for them, ending a run of 4 defeats with a victory against Kent. Dug in this one by Clarkson. It's just swung away, pulled away by Hughes for a single. 110 for 3. Clarson's already gone for 9 off this over, and closing in on victory. 24 to win now. Sussex Sharks, they have a ball left, and they will have 5 overs in which to complete the feat here, as it's gone from a likelihood closer and closer to an inevitability now. As Clarkson bowls to Carter, tucks that into the onside. They'll take a single. 111 for 3. So 10 off the over. Nowhere near what Kent needed. Absolutely fine for Sussex. They got themselves 2 overs worth of run rate there. And with 5 overs, they need just 23 to win with 7 wickets in hand.
Yes, I think from a Sussex point of view, clearly it'll be good to win their second game of this competition. It means that Sussex are still in with it, in the competition. I mean, be it they'll be outsiders when we resume after the next batch of championship matches. But it's been a difficult period for the club, not least Paul Harbrace pointed out last week with June the 1st coming on. There's the 10th. It's just over 3,000 players who are going to be out of contract can be approached by other counties. So it's just been a tricky couple of weeks for Sussex, and I think a win will just lift morale all around the club going into the next batch of championship matches. Jadev Nugcat has arrived, the Indian quick bowler who will be here for the rest of the season for championship as well. So in comes Dudgeon, bowls to Carter, who pulls that one on the leg side. It's dribbling out towards the boundary. I'm not sure it's going to get there. Harry Finch. Well, you don't see too many all-run threes here at Hove, but that is all-run 3 from... Well, an all-run 3, what a silly thing for me to say, but you don't get too many 3s.
3 threes, indeed, that's true.
Carter goes to 21, Sussex to 111 for 3. No, don't go to 114 for 3. The scoreboard was slightly behind, so 20 needed to win. Hughes eyes up that leg side boundary. I wonder whether Sam Billings might bring a few players inside the ring here just to try and pick up a couple of wickets. Daniel Hughes just waits and leans on his bat. There's been a good partnership actually between these two. In comes Dudgeon, bowls to Hughes, pulled away by Daniel Hughes as he bisected both those fielders. No, hasn't. Good bit of fielding on that leg side boundary. Just a single to Hughes, fielded up there by Milnes. Hughes goes to 29 of 29 deliveries. So this partnership has been worth 21, 15, 36. Important little partnership just when Jack Leaning got out. Ollie Carter has come in and played very positively. His 24 has come off just 15 deliveries. Sam Billings runs all the way up to the far end of the ground to have a word to Keith Dudgeon about something or another. It's resulted in a couple of slight field changes. And Dudgeon comes in to bowl to Carter. Third ball of the over. He's in and bowls, and Carter plays that to mid-on and picks up a single. Does Ollie Carter, fielded there by Zach Crawley at mid-on. Carter goes to 25, Sussex to 116 for 3. And brings the left-handed Australian Daniel Hughes onto strike. Dudgeon wheels around at the far end of the ground. That's the Cromwell Road end. The sun has disappeared. Then comes Dudgeon, bowls to Hughes, who plays firmly only as far as Daniel Bell Drummond, who's fielding at short extra cover. And there is no run. Total remains 116 for 3, so Sussex needing 18 to win. They've got 4 overs left to get them after this, and 7 wickets in hand. Hughes, who's been seagulls, starting to circle around the ground. It's that time of day as in comes Dudgeon again, bowls, and Hughes plays to mid on. He needs to be quick here. If they hit, he could be in trouble. Well, he didn't hit. It was a very quickly taken single by Daniel Hughes to mid on. I think that was Joe Denley. Was it Denley?
Yeah.
Coming into field. He threw at the stumps. I think had he hit the stumps, that might have been tight. Nonetheless, Hughes picks up a single. He goes to 30. Then the Sharks to 117 for 3. One more ball to go in this, the 16th over. Dudgeon will be bowling to the right-handed Ollie Carter, who doesn't get too much chance to play T20 cricket. So he might be enjoying this, the right-hander, as Dudgeon is in bowls. Carter down the wicket, pulls that one over mid-wicket. It's come off high off the bat, but he's going to run away and get runs. He's going to get 2, and possibly they might get the second 3 of the over. No, they don't. They settle for 2 as the throw comes in. So 2 more to Ollie Carter, about slightly fortunate nonetheless. He won't worry about that. He goes to 27 off just 17 deliveries. The scoreboard has rather unhelpfully gone off and showing pictures of the crowd.
I think that's 119 for 3, I believe.
Well done, Matt.
Yeah, there we go. So 15 more to win, 4 overs to do it in. You would certainly back Sussex to do that, but
Yes, yeah.
they certainly should from here. Just looking at the table as well, Hampshire have got away to a bit of a flyer, haven't they?
Yes.
In terms of 5 wins out of 6, but then Kent would be at 12 points from 5. Surrey have only got 12 points from 6 already. Essex and Middlesex are playing each other at the moment, so were Middlesex perhaps to win that one and Sussex to win this one, suddenly the table gets...
We'd like Middlesex to win, wouldn't we? That would be...
Gets a bit squashed behind Hampshire, and there is a long way to go, almost needless to say. We're not even halfway there.
No.
So Fred Clarkson then, with 15 to win now for Sussex. It's dropped into the offside by Dan Hughes, goes on to 31 from 32 deliveries. So 20 for 3.
Sorry, Matt, so Kent have got another game before the next round of championship matches.
They have. They go to Essex on Tuesday.
Right,
Yes, indeed,
okay.
yeah.
Oh.
Before heading to... I'm hoping the ball is dead from a Kent point of view.
Well, yes, he threw it down a Beau Drummond to Jake Lintott, didn't he? And he wasn't aware it was there. Fred Clarkson saying, well, where's the ball?
Yeah, it's just trickled to the boundary rope. Kent on their way to Blackpool.
Oh, crumbs. So they've got a game on Tuesday, then up to Blackpool for championship.
Indeed, for Friday. Absolutely, that's a Friday start. Clarkson to Carter. Pulls that away. It's straight to the fielder on the onside. That Milnes Fields, single taken. Grant Stewart at least will have happy memories of a little bit of a squally Blackpool last time. He had 130 in the 4th innings.
Wow.
Hitting the ball out of Stanley Park a number of times. Threatening animals in the nearby zoo, we're told. I'm joking, of course. They were all fine. But thumping the walls of that ground a number of times. Clarkson now bowls to Hughes, up in the air to be caught. Oh, it's over the head of Crawley. And if anyone was going to reach that one, it would have been Zach Crawley, and that will go for 4. There's a smile from Fred Clarkson, a rueful smile at Chris Benjamin, as if to say, it's not our day. No. It certainly isn't. It's Sussex Sharks day. 125 for 3, 9 to win now, and we're in the 17th over. And, well, I think Dan Hughes has probably earned that bit of luck, actually. He's batted very calmly for 35 off 33, exactly what Sussex needed, chasing a small total. Short ball edged, and it's gone down the leg side though. Sam Billings was never going to get that, and that's 4 runs. And a gesticulation by Hughes to Clarkson. Was there a little word between the two of them? I hope it's all done in good part, perhaps.
I would hope so. It just looked a little... not too sure there. That was slightly odd, wasn't it?
Maybe Clarkson was expressing that he thought that was a bit fortunate.
Yes.
But Hughes replying in kind.
Yes.
You can only imagine. But 129 for 3, 5 to win. Shall I give you the honour here?
No, you carry on, man. That's fine.
It's getting close. They need just 5 more here. 2 balls to come of this over from Clarkson. Angled, stopped. Really good stop from Joe Denley. Hard to believe, in many ways, that Joe Denley is 40. He doesn't feel like it, I think it's fair to say.
Very good indeed. I guess sort of a good win for Sussex is good for sort of run rate and things as well, isn't it?
For net run rate, absolutely. I think these days it's wins first, isn't it? But a tiebreaker's a tiebreaker,
yeah,
as almost no one says on a daily basis. It's Clausen then, last ball of this 17th over, and into the offside. Hughes will take himself a single. He'll be on to strike, and he will need just one boundary to win this for Sussex Sharks, with plenty of balls to spare. 134-3 then, the Sharks off 17.
Yes, and these two have now added, 30? That's the 50 partnership between these two.
That's what little burst of balls.
51 partnership. As the scoreboard says, make more noise. So Daniel Hughes, perhaps it'd be fitting if he did hit the winning runs, as Matt said. I think he's played a very responsible innings. Paul Firebrace was very keen for players to put their hand up, as he puts it. And 40 not out. Daniel's done exactly that off 36 balls with 5 fours. Fine over to be bowled. Well, fine over, who knows? Grant Stewart comes in bowls to Hughes, who clips this one away on the leg side. They've taken just the one. Hughes goes to 41, Sussex to 131 for 3. That's a long old coach trip coming up there, Matt, for the players. They'll finish absolutely at Chelmsford, back home, I guess, Tuesday night, then first thing Wednesday morning on the coach to Blackpool.
Probably to have a day in the nets, up for Thursday,
Up there for Thursday practice and have a look at the pitch. And
I thought these sharp turnarounds were supposed to be a thing of the past.
I'm quite surprised to see that, really, because by the time we finished at Chelmsford on Tuesday night, that's not home in Kent till, early hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then a long coach trip up there the next day. I know they've travelled on nice coaches with all the facilities, but that's still a long old journey. Joe Denley just practicing a golf shot there at short extra cover as in comes Stewart. Bowls to Ollie Carter, who hammers the ball away. Is he going to be caught? No, he's not. In fact, the ball runs away for 4 runs, and Ollie Carter pulls the ball away. It'll lose the field. I think that's Harry Finch out there. And Ollie Carter gets the plaudits for hitting the winning runs. Congratulations and handshakes all around. Good to see there Fred Classen and Daniel Hughes shaking hands as well. So Ollie Carter finishes on 32, and Sussex have ended this dreadful run where they've lost 4 matches in a row in the T20 Blast, but they've won today to give themselves an outside chance when the competition resumes in a few weeks' time of maybe getting towards the latter stage. It's still a long shot, but it'll be a lift for everybody at the club, having had a very difficult week, or a difficult couple of weeks here at Hove. So well done to Sussex. Commiserations to Kent. And perhaps they'll look back on those opening overs when Sean Hunt really got in amongst them, Matt, and picked up those 3 wickets that made it very difficult for Kent to post a total that they could defend.
Yeah, they won by 7 wickets then with 16 balls remaining. Never really got going, Kent, after that opening salvo from Sean Hunt. What a day it is for him. And, surely he will be man of the match for that crushing display of bowling. Kent 35 for 4 at the end of the 7th over. Joe Denley will take some credit for his 42, Keith Dudgeon for his 28, but otherwise Daniel Hughes for a really well timed 41. Ollie Carter, you were saying, not playing very much T20 cricket, but 32 not out at the end. A 50 partnership between the two of them. John Simpson did important early damage for me as well, Adrian, early on with that 33, really getting on top of the Kent bowlers and putting them ahead of the 8-ball Sussex. But as you say, from a Kent point of view, lick their wounds before they go to Essex. They've had to do that once already, having been beaten by Essex and then win at Surrey. Will be hoping to bounce back. But for Sussex, as you said, much needed from a club that's, it seems to be beleaguered on all fronts at the moment, and getting that losing run off their backs.
Well, absolutely, and now going into the Championship, where Sussex have had a very good start to the Championship. They play Glamorgan here starting on Friday. They'll be without Ollie Robinson, who seems to have cemented his place in the England side for the next Test match. So. But they've welcomed back J. Devon Nudcat, but more than anything else, it will just give everybody at the club a lift after what's been a difficult week or so as we return to County Championship cricket on Friday.
We do indeed. Adrian, thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt. It's always great fun, and thank you for making it a very enjoyable
And
afternoon.
a fantastic host as always. I would just say from Kent fans that we're feeling down in the dumps. Their women's side did beat Glamorgan by 8 wickets. They could have really done with a win, Kent, today, and they've done it in emphatic fashion themselves. But their men's team have lost to Sussex here. Sussex, as I said, winning by 7 wickets with 16 balls remaining here in the T20 Blast. Our 2 radio stations once again following our teams for their next round of fixtures. You will hear reaction from the 2 camps, of course, in your breakfast bulletins tomorrow on BBC Radio Kent, BBC Radio Sussex. So Kent at Essex Tuesday night. Just to reiterate, Adrian, Sussex next up.
Sussex next up, Glamorgan. In fact, 2 home games on the spin for Sussex. They play Glamorgan here starting on Friday, and a week later they play Hampshire here at Hove as well.
Fantastic. Once again, our thanks to Adrian, to Ben Watts in the studio, but for the moment from me, Matt Cole, handing back to the Make a Difference show with BBC Radio Kent DAB listeners with Gabby Roslin.